Hey, gente, bienvenidos. Espero se encuentren todos muy bien. Hoy le damos inicio al stream 11/12/2025.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first match that we'll be seeing
como
here
ya todos
today
saben,
on stage 1. BNC will be facing WRLK, and
nos reunimos.
as the only team to get a
Me
win
organizo aquí
against the Chinese squad in Group A, it's gonna be a very interesting match. It's probably gonna be a revenge match between these two, grudge match as well as for VNC to prove that since they are in their home turf, that they can grab a win against some of the top teams that we have here today.
Speaking of which, right, the crowd went crazy yesterday when they started popping off, whining rather, on that Samira was absolutely crazy. A delight to watch in the ARAM game, and it will be a true test later on. I mean, sure, I love that you mentioned, Giang, that it was a best of one, but it is still standard Wild Rift, right? You still have to perfect your fundamentals.
I'm not sure about the numbers, but I think we had like 3 kills yesterday. There's also one from WRLB, Jan on Fiora, taking down Tyson and AAA ARAM. We're now seeing WRLK, the members of Long and a dude.
Bajo un poco aquí el sonido. Listo, aquí el anterior equipo fue el equipo de Vietnam, los visitantes. Este es un equipo chino. Aquí vemos los participantes como tal. Este evento es ahí entre todo un poco. A ver, veo mis hojas guía. CKT. Es como una fusión entre creadores y no creadores. De creadores y no creadores. Entonces ahí vamos viendo. Es como una fusión entre creadores y no creadores.
Man, I love the Brazilians, man. Wild Capivaras, which we spoke to them at an interview, and I love that you touched up upon the finals last time around. It was the Brazilians up against the Filipinos. Yesterday, they said they specifically wanted to fight the Philippines because they wanted revenge. They did, and they lost.
Yeah, they did lose at the team relay. They had the 1v1s, they had the ARFs, and so far the Brazilian squad were having hard time when it comes to the 1v1s here on our screens right now. We are seeing Team Taesan, the Korean squad that we have here at Wild Round Smash. We also saw them on stage 2 yesterday, Giang, and we did see them having a really good performance, getting a 4-0 win against the Turkish Delights.
And Turkish Delights, this is one of the teams that are a little bit on the lower end of the scores. So far, we have yet to see them actually pop off. And I'm just looking forward to seeing them having a better performance this time around. It's a very different environment. It's no longer the 1v1s. It's no longer the AAA ARAM. It's the 5v5. And I think most of the teams actually prepared more on the Summoner's Rift setup rather than the 1v1s in the AAA ARAM.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the usual thing, right? If you are a more competitive team, you will be preparing more for the 5v5s, and we did see the faces yesterday, right, from this team from Turkish Delights. You could really see the determination from them to get those wins in the 1v1s in the ARAM. So it's just gonna be very, very interesting to see how they perform today, because there's still a lot of games to be played. They still have a very big chance to be able to make it to the finals tomorrow.
Of course. And of course, it's best of ones, right? So you're facing up against everyone. You can learn from your experience as you head towards the related matches. We have so many games today. That's why we have 2 stages, so we can showcase every single matchup.
El primer día fue como de calentamiento, entre muchas comillas.
Oh, man! Finally!
En este sí es como el encuentro, el enfrentamiento como tal.
Map is going to
La
be the one
rivalidad,
played by
las
all our
confrontaciones unos
players,
contra
and I think
otros.
that's the thing that I'm also most hyped about. We're
Este
actually
es el que
just
les
going to
decía,
be
es el
blessed with
equipo
a lot
coreano.
of games
También es de la
today.
segunda
And I
manga.
think it's also going to be a learning lesson for a lot of people, especially those that want to be updated on what's actually meta in the competitive stage.
Oh yeah.
everyone that is looking into
representando.
what's meta on all the different regions that we are all playing as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned the meta, right? Because
Y
as of
los
this moment, there
últimos
isn't necessarily a
también,
big, somewhat recent or a very recent
son de
tournament that
Vietnam.
will
Yeah.
showcase that
Pero este
meta.
es un
So it's
equipo
up
de
in the air,
creadores.
right? I mean, sure, I'm sure
Lo
there's
que
scripts
es
happening every now and then. Especially because the players,
WRLB,
as far as I know, they stay within the same area here in Ho Chi Minh. So they probably played a few games amongst each other.
equipos de
But as
creadores,
of what the picks, the lineups are going to be, it's anyone's guess.
Entonces nos vamos con la primera partida, Vietnam versus China.
Okay, I'm gonna say something here. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say something here, but I say this with all the love, Jige. I love Yasuo. I love Yasuo
yeah,
mains.
I remember.
I love Yasuo mains. But Jige, this man, I think, loves Yasuo a little too much, even more than me. Because yesterday, he was he insisted on playing Yasuo in the 1v1 and everyone was playing Renekton, and it went exactly how you would expect it. He lost the fastest out of anyone in the 1v1.
Hey, if you are a Yasuo main, if you really
I get it, though.
love the champion, if you're a champion OTP, pick it in a 1v1.
Yeah.
If you're a Yasuo main and you get countered, do you back off? No, you double down.
I just want to say I would do the exact same thing, Jige.
Amen.
So Giyang, would you double down on a
I
1v1
always double down. I'm always the first pick ASOL in a game. I always get countered. You know what? I don't back off.
Alright.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
Neither does he.
Neither does he. ASO doesn't back down. I heard right here, folks. Giyang doesn't back down. As we head back into the draft right here, the two bans coming in from the side of WRLK will be the Lee Sin and the Akali, while on the other hand for BNC, it's going to be a Lilia and an Echo, taking away some of those magic damage carries that are possibly coming in from the jungle.
Okay.
I'm actually interested here on the Echo ban. It's not a usual ban that you see, right?
That's true.
But we can recall 3 years ago, Long was actually the only jungler in Wild Rift League Asia to pick Echo.
Yes.
He uses that even at the time that it was not meta.
I mean, it's a really good read right now from BNC, right? Because it's very heavy physical damage on the side of WRLK. Let's take away some of those magic damage options that they could possibly have.
Absolutely. But I am a little bit curious about the bans here for WRLK, taking away the Lee Sin MP has picked up. I would expect that it won't get a lot of priority, but Rise will be BNC on top of the 5 course. That's a lot of setup, a lot of die potential, and a lot of scaling in the form of the Rise. Actually, I'm loving it.
Sorry for laughing a bit here on the background. I'm just so happy without a dash. I see a Rise. Someone who won't get bumped by a Poppy because he doesn't have any dash. But the Realm Warp, though, can be cancelled by the Keeper's Verdict or any of the ground controls present here on WRLK. And a Mordekaiser to top it all off, that is a big blunder to D2C later on.
Alright.
Yeah, this is going to be... I like the Mordekaiser pick right here for the side of WRLK. He can choose to isolate someone because, again, you're talking about this when the Braum was picked up. It is the most crucial champion on the side here for BNC. Can block that Horn, can be the meat shield, the front line for Delusion to be able to deal that damage. But there's now a lot of ways
Vamos a ir el carril del top con una
away from the fight. There's the
Ambesa, bien la jungla, medio con Rise, Lucian, ADC y soporte con Braum para el equipo de Vietnam.
Just illusion to cut
Para el
through,
equipo
so it's
chino,
going to be hard
que
to
es
team fight these boys,
WRLK.
but I am excited for this Yasuo. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, the Yasuo, look at it here. Looking at the picks right here, right? There are so many knockups.
Yep.
Aunque nos sorprenden.
Knockups for this Yasuo to get set up. Like, he has his own. There's the claw for the keeper. The knockups coming in from the Ord, so there's a Giga to be able to get into the fight.
Both teams getting readied up on the top end. We've got the local heroes, LK, the Chinese squad who flew here towards beautiful setup part. Guys, it is wonderful. Actually hiding a little bit, so we get a nicer view of the stage, and it's actually quite cooler. So I love it.
Yeah. It's a lot more chilly here, and I'm just so happy for everyone's comfort, right?
Yeah,
because health is important.
Health
I mean,
well.
you want to support something, that's cool. But it also is cooler to have like a cool environment here at this at this venue because we don't want
Hay un jugador
anyone
que más
to
adelante
have
les voy a
any
decir
like
que
health
me agrada mucho,
emergencies.
mucho como juega.
BNC versus WRLK, first match of the day. Let us know who do you think is going to be winning here in this game as well. Hashtag BNC win or hashtag WRLK win.
You know what, Apple, I want to talk about this matchup a
Dañando la
little bit
pasiva
first.
de Yasuo.
In the mid lane, the Rise actually,
Al desgaste.
it's probably a comfort pick here for
Al
Kuzi.
desgaste, parcero.
Because of the fact that Zuge picked up the Yasuo, Kuzi could have gone for something entirely different just to counter the Yasuo. Heck, he could even go Malphite if he wanted to. But I think the Rise actually enables Zuge a little bit of wiggle room in this mid lane.
Yeah.
So yes, Yasuo main could find something here.
Yeah, we'll see.
I see like the happiness
El rayo es muy suave.
Is it also the happiness?
Every time he
meterle
hits
más
an
a
auto
eso.
attack. Yeah.
Más ganas, más
Every
ganas.
time he hits that Steel Tempest, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Yasuo mains, unite.
Unite.
But yeah, I mean, getting into that matchup as well, right? I think the
Esa.
Rise was also a pretty good pickup just because the
Pegando.
Rise right here has
Pegando con
ways to
calma.
spread around his abilities.
Of course.
So it's very easy for him to still farm up that lane, to harass down that Yasuo. But as we're looking at the early stages of this game, the Yasuo does have a bit of an edge right now in terms of the gold.
Alright, bot lane matchup, it is whining, of course, on the Lucian, who supposedly has the early advantage up against you on that core key, but so far it's been a bit of a tame lane on the dragon side of things. Whining actually having to use the fruits early just to sustain the poke from you. So the bot lane of WRLK doing a fantastic job of keeping that Lucian at bay.
Great use by Zige on the windmill,
Vaqueo para
constantly using it
Yasuo,
in the lane
rotación
phase so that
para
he can get prio
Rayos.
into the mid lane and go back into the base, get his items, or any other
Buena
activity that he
visión, eso es lo más
wants to actually
importante.
do
Full visión acá al
when he
instante.
does get that prio. But it's really difficult to actually win against a Rise. Rise is one of these champions that can just
Uy,
dominate the
gastando
laning
ese
phase for
mic
some
tan rápido,
reason.
China.
The wave clear is immense as
Ya
well.
la vi.
And yeah, I
Haciendo
think
su
Kuzi is just
escurridizo.
going to be scaling
Oh.
very easily.
Mordecai
D2C though
denegado.
getting spotted out.
Yeah.
Just going to break her out.
Denegado.
Yeah, D2C was trying to track down Long. They did see him in the river, but Long, and we do
For the
Or
cosplayers.
you know,
Una pausa.
not only just
Una pausa
not
rápida.
only just
que nos
have like,
conectamos de una
photos
vez.
with cosplayers, maybe
hear
have
that.
Una,
photos
papá.
with shoutcasters as well. Please,
Yeah, you
thank
get to meet the Giyang Gaming,
Yeah.
the crazy Apple.
the GG, the Datum.
Please, thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
after just calling
Bro,
out
what's
our
the
names
clap?
like that, let's get back into the game right here. We are near the 3-minute
Yasuo
mark. Looks like the
entrando.
pause
Entrando,
has
aguanta,
been
aguanta.
resolved, and we are looking at the mid lane right now. A bit of a level mismatch between the Rise and the Yasuo.
And at this point, once you get those ults, Yasuo definitely has the advantage over the Rise. So Kuzi playing very reactively, especially with Long. Long can pull Kuzi in, and that's an airborne that GK can capitalize on. But this is interesting pathing. Long is staying inside of that mid lane,
Yeah.
but it will not connect.
Long
Yeah.
is like, give me some.
Give me,
Thank
give me
you.
some of the gold.
I need gold.
Yeah, but I mean, to also put some reason onto the rotation coming in from Long, right? He went there because they said that Kuzi was trying to freeze the lane in front of the turret. It's going to be hard for
por
Giga
aquí.
to recall from that, so they had to clear off the wave.
They're
But there's a
grouping
fight
up.
here.
Yeah, numbers advantage for WRLK.
Whoa,
The last
last
breath
breath.
is made.
Borrado,
Yasuo
Yasuo, borradito.
Yeah, what a catch right there for the side here of WRLK getting the first one.
Borradita,
GK
sabí.
loving the airbornes. That was a single
Borradita.
point-click engage from Tiga with the Poppy, and then the last breath immediately triggered by Chica.
Entró
So that's
mal.
first blood over towards the WRLK mid laner, and that's a power
Venga,
spike.
bro.
Would absolutely love to
Ray
have Circus
buscando.
Reeves picked up by the Yas.
It feels like a counter
Buscando
to
el
what
espacio
we
ideal.
usually know about Yasuo's. Yasuo's, we know the real power spike is 0-11, but here, he already 1-0. He's defying expectations.
Man, do you remember before Yasuo had an entirely different build path?
Yeah.
Like years before.
Yes, sir.
Going for Divine Thunder, Wits, and basically
Drastically at
tank
night.
Yasuo, right?
Oh.
But now it's a
Strong.
carry Yasuo. We see the Berk Boots into
Ajá, pero ahora aún aguanta bastante.
a Bloodthirster, because Bloodthirster
Al
gives
tocar
now
el
a
vaqueo.
little bit of attack speed alongside with the damage and lifesteal and the crit as well.
Yeah.
And it's just overall a great first item for a Yasuo.
Long's hovering in the bot side right now.
Ricardi
Rock
dándose
is a
los
bit low, but
rocosos.
he is spotted.
Déjaselos ahí para que
Will be
pierdan
moving
tiempo.
away. We did see earlier as well. Bot lane was doing a bit of trading because
Los que duelen para mí como jungla los picuchillos. Duele mucho, duele mucho.
But it seems like with the visit from Long, it just equalized the lane at this point.
And this is a bit risky from the BNC bot side. Juan not recalling yet, despite being just about 200 HP on the Braum, is something that Long could do something about, but they finally do recall as of now. We are looking at 41 seconds, still the first set of objectives do come in. All ults available, so we could probably see a fight coming through. The question is which team is going to prioritize which.
Ah, había pillado que viene con chipote chillón. Buena. Con chipote chillón.
This has been like one of the most passive games that we have seen by WRLK, right? Normally we see them be looking for fights early on, especially when Long is involved, right? But this time, looks like they're gonna call the Forge God, blocking the path of the members or the allies. So he might just get taken down, slammed by the scepter here of Long. As a follow-up action comes through, WRLK looking to get more. They get two, and looks like they get a priority on the Enchanted Ensemble
and
as well.
Just as you say, GG, that they were quiet, Long makes noise. Immediately pops the Death Realm onto D2C. Takes out the vibe, but here comes Score looking to back away. I think it's going to be able to escape. The first objective taken by Long.
Yeah, also off screen, we saw Long getting another kill. He is 2-0-1 right now. Also getting the Braum earlier, so that is 3 kills right now. Sorry, that was only the 2 kills from WRLK. But also I want to take note, before that fight started, look at the first item from Long. It's a Trident. It counters the shielding right now from the side here of BNC. If you look at their lineup, almost everyone, even the barrier from Widening also gives that shield, so he's countering everyone. It's kind of unfortunate for D2C.
It counters 4 people. Right?
Jige! Oh!
Assassinated there by Jige.
That's my man right there on the Yasuo. 4-0 and the 2-0 start. Bloodthirster for item.
Just going back to the Trident, right? It's being countered here by Long. Of course, the Ambessa has a shield, the Bai has a shield, the Rise through the Archangel Staff will have a shield, and the barrier for Hofin. And all of those damage resistances will get significantly reduced. And I think that's a massive threat.
Quería bajarlo un poco más.
Dragon secured as well. Sorry to cut you off there, but Dragon also secured by WRLK
bajémoslo aquí, para que no nos haga tanto sonido.
In taking the Enchanted Ensemble. Let's take a look again at how this happened, Crazy.
Listo, así está mejor. La repetición, adiós. Adiós, Ray. De borrar o mano. Borradito.
And it's also kind of tricky to estimate just how long the dash could be, because it's not as short as you would think it is, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So
I think the Bloodthirster right now is a massive sustain item as well for JG. They have a lot. I think WRK, they're focusing a lot on the utilities. Anti-heal, anti-shield, and the Yasuo is so strong right now. Even has an anti-heal. Yu's gonna be untouchable in the backline for sure. There's like so many front lines on the side of WRLK. Like, what can BNC do? Yes, they do have like initiators, the Ambessa and the Bai. But they can't. I don't think they can actually penetrate these, defense.
Bot lane, I think it's gonna be a fight right there.
Un poco de poder, un tris de poder. El tris de sal. ¿En dónde te metiste, Yasuo? Buena vi esperando desde el arbusto.
Yeah, really good rotation right there.
Classic Yasuo.
Yeah, classic Yasuo dying right there, but there's another big fight in the mid lane.
You getting a takedown there, but with the orange. Having that massive crowd control, I don't think BNC, when they commit, it's hard to get out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard right now for the side here of BNC. They are getting harassed right here for WRLK. The amount of pressure that they're throwing here in the mid lane with the Enchanted Ensemble as well, taking the first turret from themselves, and now that is a 2,000 gold lead right here for WRLK.
We see an interesting item as well on Long, right?
Estampado.
As he pulls up Score. Score trying to escape. Good job. Vershanyu trying to just shield the damage. Penetrating, reaching towards his teammates.
Lucian.
And now he recognizes WRLK might be overextended. They breach out the tower. Kane just lashed out, and looks like they're gonna be fine.
I mean, WRLK just all over the map right there. Long, you don't have any dashes, man. How did you get into the back right there with the claw trying to catch out, and BNC still putting the pressure right here. WRLK under their turret.
I think that's a Death Realm. getting maxed out here by Long. Sorry to cut you off there, Giyang, but that is another tower taken away by Jige. So there's a lot of map control being asserted.
Si ustedes tienen la opción de escoger entre Vietnam y China, ¿qué elegirían? ¿Qué elegirían con naturalidad, sin miedo al error?
And so far, in terms of economy, right, we're starting to see a little bit of a gold lead on this red side team, and DNC, they really have to start stepping up, because so far all the tempo has been established by WRLK. They got the objective, they got the dragon as well. Both the Enchanted Summon and the Dragon was taken, and it looks like they're just going to be preparing for
su trayectoria, supondría que es por su trayectoria, todo lo que representa China como tal.
You talk about the gold advantages here of the players of WRLK. Two of their players have the most. Number one is Long with almost 9,000 gold. Number two is Jige with 8,200. Now, the problem with Long being the richest person in the WRLK roster is that definitive answer for BNC, how they're going to crash on this Mordekaiser.
Rice haciendo el trabajo, la ulti de Or que no conecta. Por ahí medio rasgó a Rice. Pero nada con peligro. Super y el ADC que nos despegan como chicles para arriba y para abajo. La niñera. Mordekaiser se anima, se anima. Está ultiado Rice, está ultiado, salió de la ulti. Ah, Yasuo para tu casa, Yasuo. Al lobby. Uy, uno por uno. La diferencia no es tanta, 4000, 4K no es tanto, pero en competitivo sería mucho. Como es una mezcla entre creadores, jugadores profesionales,
four knockups with the Glacial Fissure. But the problem is they couldn't get past the three beefy boys in front. I'm talking about the Ornn, the Mordekaiser, and the Poppy. Tanky, even though there was the Lucian pumping to the face, it just wasn't enough. And they just got turned around. DNC.
Pero en sí creería que la diferencia está en una, dos, tres torres, una torre arriba. Sí, claro, ese oro extra está en las dos torres de diferencia.
On this Mordekaiser jungle is like, how is it gonna work? How is it gonna use this Death Realm? And we've seen that they are using the Death Realm not in front of the objective, but the patch before the objective fight starts. They are trying to harass down the members of the NC, getting the pickups and then going for these.
Ya saben, gente, cualquier cosa en los comentarios se les agradece. La actitud, la energía. Estoy tratando de hacer todo lo que puedo con lo poco que tengo, entonces disculpa de antemano.
Exactly. 13 as well. So
very commanding lead.
12,000 gold for Long. And this is why he is king. He's that rich.
Long live the king, as we used to say for Long right here. And for VNC, it's going to be a question of how are they going to adapt. What are they going to do?
Rice, no te vas, Rice, te quedas ahí, te vas pa'l lobby, cabrón. Carajo.
Yeah, you can feel the desperation right now from
trying
to figure out what they can do, how they
diferencia ahora, no. La diferencia ya. Subió un K adicional. Esos son malas señales. Malas señales, pésimas señales.
Better so far than BNC is just really capitalizing on these few mistakes that we are seeing from the Vietnamese squad.
The problem has been that initiation. To the front line of WRLK and press that season assist. He just gets destroyed. Yeah. And either that or he gets ulted by Narnia. So there's no way they could use that Vi effectively to single out the backline of you.
There's one really good sign though that we're seeing on BNC. Yeah, they're down 6,000. But there's two things to consider now.
Yep.
No soul for WRLK because BNC
they
got Ocean Dragon.
Me dio un calambre en mi muslo izquierdo. Se me salió la lagrimita. La lagrimita.
We are going to be waiting for him
Bueno,
to be
y
able to
volvemos
complete
otra vez
that
al
item,
juego.
be able to contribute to this.
A
But at
ver,
the
esto
same
ya,
time, there are still a lot of tools
según la
that
situación y lo que
WRLK have
veo,
to neutralize one or two carries on the side here of
Vietnam
BNC, like the death round from
perdió
like
esto.
the Keeper's Verdict.
No hay
It's
otra
also going to be
opción.
really hard to penetrate through the wind wall of Jige
Yeah.
on the Yasuo. So really a lot of things here going for the side of WRLK. So we have to wait on what is going to be the strategy here. One of the things you usually go for when you're behind is try to set up picks, try to look for ways to isolate a member of the other team. But WRLK is not giving that chance to BNC.
One thing, steal the objective. 12 seconds until the Baron spawns up. But the problem is, BNC might not expect how quickly WRLK can take that Baron down. There's 3 items on the Yasuo, 3 items on that.
Están preparando el
4 items on that
varón.
Mordekaiser with the round.
¡Qué nacho!
I think that BNC will just trade this out, but looks like I'm wrong.
El gran varón.
That was so close.
Ay,
152, but Long will still secure the
poquito,
objective
hijo.
now, getting the punishment to the members
Por
here of BNC.
poquito.
Philippine just looking to disengage with knocking,
Ya,
allowing him by
borraditos.
locks him down as well.
Ya,
A
finalicen
little
eso.
bit late on the Glacier Fisher because it's just an avalanche by WRLK as they get the ace, and looks like they're just going to be running it down mid.
And that's a massacre right there for WRLK, baiting him into the objective, and now they're rolling into the base of BNC.
Yeah, it's just pure domination. WRLK not letting go of control of this first game of Wild
Se
Rift here
acabó.
in Wild Round Smash.
Victoria
WRLK
para
takes the win
China.
against local heroes.
It's
WRLK.
masterclass of an execution here by WRLK as they
Acumula
demonstrate
sus
how big of a
puntos.
difference their performance can be from the 1v1 to the AAA ARAM.
En breve
and on
nos
to the
vamos
series
con
matches here on the
CKT
5v5 of Wild Rift.
y nuevamente Vietnam.
Inside of the mid lane, but we do respect that a lot of these champions they have picked up are flex picks, right?
Yeah.
They can be used in all 3 lanes, and I do like seeing a lot of priority or target here onto time lapse because yeah, there's a lot of frontline
Bueno, nos
power
traen
on BNC, a lot of crowd control as well. And
CKT.
those 2 champions can deny all
Con
that.
I feel like the Olaf
Ambesa,
is
Lucia,
not something that you
Galio.
expect, but thinking about
Galio
the
Flex.
Wild Rounds Filipinas,
Puede ser,
it
puede
is
estar
one of those
top,
champions
si
that the
quiere.
Filipino
Hay
team
mucha
have
gente
been
que lo he visto
using,
jugar en jungla
and
también.
now I understand why they took out that
Yeah.
champion.
Y
It's a lot
nuestro
of
es
CC.
bueno.
Yep. Picking up the Lissandra
Pero tiene que
allows now
analizar muy
BNC
bien
a lot
cuándo
more
cae,
space to use
cómo
that
cae,
point.
en dónde cae.
They want to pick up CC. I'm sorry to cut you off there. They will pick up a CC.
Teniendo
heavy
esos
competition
aspectos
with
no hay
Lissandra.
problema, no hay lío.
Arguably one of the best in the meta right now in terms of providing CC and in that lane, of course. So there you have it, 4v4 locked up, and the answer is Anakali. We talk about pocket picks.
Gente, vuelvo y les digo cualquier
A
cosa,
very
los
dangerous pick, I would
comentarios
say, for healers, right?
se les agradece.
Because in high competitive play, Akali, yes, it is very, very strong, but Lissandra is actually one of those champions that you use when there's an Akali because you can still hit her or the champion despite not being able to target her. As long as it's there,
I see your face.
the damage can be there and the crowd control can be there as well. Kaz is going to be picked up here by time lapse, but it's going to be matched up by VNC with the Piego.
Chickmit going all in here in the second match of the day. At
Ambesa
stage
top laner,
1.
jungla.
Native just noticing my face when I saw the Akali.
Akali va por medio, es real.
Follow up on the lock
Y
in. There's
Galio
no room for
va a ir a
mistakes right
soporte.
here from the side of Chickmit. There's so much crowd control on the Lissandra, and then there's also a Viego that can just go for the resets.
El
Take
equipo de
full
Vietnam con
advantage of the
Corki.
abilities of both the Akali, the Ezreal, and the Kazakhs. If there's just one kill that BNC gets, it could
Diego
spell doom for Chickmit.
Renekton.
This is one thing I was going to point out earlier. Exactly. Those pocket picks, they love going to it when it comes to series deciders. In a best of one, though, I'm not
En
sure
breve
that's the best
arrancamos.
course of action, but you do you, Chickmit. I love that you brought out these 2 champs.
And here's the thing, right? BNC are showing a lot of respect towards Chickmit. They're going with the standard,
Yes.
composition. If you want to be logical, you pick champions that are strong in lane phase, in the early game, strong in team fights, has crowd control, has sustain, and has the damage as well. And it provides a lot of protection for their Corki, especially in the team fights. But there's one thing very, very outstanding here on the side of Chickmit, and that's their confidence.
Yes.
Picking up 2 assassins as well is very, very popular on high-performance teams. That's why they picked the Akali and paired up with the Kazakhs. Because if it's just one assassin, it might struggle. But because it's two, there's a double reset executing power on the side of Checkmate. And they've been known already in the Philippines to not only win games with that, but to one-sidedly beat down every opponent they've had with that kind of draft.
Yeah, I mean, to also talk about the other
esto.
thing from Chickmet, not only their double
Vamos a ver
assassins,
cómo le
they
va en
have
esta
tactical
Vietnam.
on the Ezreal,
A ver si se
one of
paran
his
firme o
most
no.
comfortable picks in the Philippines, even in the international stage when we have been seeing them compete.
Buena, buena.
This Ezreal is going to provide them a lot of safety by
Buen
himself.
Shuriken.
Rox and Tante can focus on helping out Helios and Timelapse in these team fights.
All right, I'm gonna play the villain here. I apologize in advance
No,
to
go
you
ahead.
two, but I'm a little bit worried for Helios here, man. Why would you pick Akali when you're playing against Alessandra? It is something that is unheard of, but it is a comfort pick. I understand the argument, but I'm just saying I'm a little bit worried.
I mean, we did mention a while ago that Lissandra is one of the safe champions you can use against an Akali, and Helios put himself in a very tough spot. Picking the Akali, picking the Akali in B5, right? Before B5.
I mean, yeah, Datum here being a bit of a negative Nelly at this point in time. Doubting
Listen, I mean,
Helios.
Lucecita, vamos a poner Lucecita.
All right, it's tough. It's a tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I completely understand. For me,
Pero
the
puede
danger
hacer,
here for
puede
the side
hacer
of Chickmet
fácilmente.
is that, oh, there's a fast fight here.
Yeah,
No.
Rox isolating some of the members here of BNC
Helios.
now.
Latino
Tenzo
se fue.
looking to disengage.
Ahí
Helios
se
looking
te
for
pega y
an
no
angle,
te
but that could be
suelta,
first
no
blood
te
by
suelta.
Chickmet, taking D2C down. And BNC looks like they're just gonna be disengaging, getting away.
Yeah, that was a very weird start of the fight right there for both of these teams. Where VNC got caught out in the river, giving the first blood on the side of Timelapse. Kuzi not even reacting. He just stayed in the mid lane, and that just gave a free first blood right now for Chickmet. Not kill on the board for them.
Well, this is the comfort we're talking about, man. Time-lapse coming in for the first blood and tactical with its signature edge, getting the kill on the bot side. I mean, typically you expect an Ezreal to play on the more safe side, but not in the hands of tactical.
No. Every time we see an Ezreal, actually we still have this ongoing weird statistic for Ezreal. Ever
Le
since
hacen
Wild
la
Thing is the Ezreal has one of the highest first blood rates in the game. And it's the Ezreal getting that first blood as well. This time it doesn't happen because of the kill of Time-lapse. But Tactical still getting a kill in the bottom lane is going to be a massive problem for BNC.
Yeah, before heading into that point on Ezreal, right, we also saw that the Frozen Tomb was used by Kuzi in the mid lane just to force the push on the Akali of Helios. But going back to your point on the first blood as an Ezreal, I think he's just really, really strong because of the Mystic shots. Right? It feels like an extra auto attack that you have, and you're passive whenever you hit those Mystic shots. You get an increase in attack speed, so that gives you a lot more damage output that a lot of champions can't match at the first two levels of the game.
Nothing really complements the type of playstyle that Rox has on this Galio.
Al desgaste, no hay más. Full desgaste.
Even on the tanky horn that is in the VNC
Aunque
roster.
es complicado esa parte ahí porque tanto Corki como Israel tienen bastante desgaste de distancia. Y el armado que puede ser muy similar entre uno y el otro. Entonces se complica la situación.
That has the double assassins and you are ahead early, that means you can hit your items earlier, deal more damage, and are able to finish these fights.
They're constantly looking for pressure points here on BNC, right? It's one of the disadvantages of having built for group of team fights. When they are isolated, small skirmishes, that's where Chickmet actually has the leverage, and they're exploiting that time and time again. We see the vision established into the bottom side as well. BNC, they did have that one ward, so they can see the entry point of Time-lapse in case he does get some interest in the bottom lane. But now, chips it on, Taunt could be there. Juan is very low in HP. As they call the Forge God, 1 HP. He doesn't get the Ram, and Tactical spots him out.
That was a weird timing of the call of the Forge God right there from Xuan Wu, and he just tried to hit it, but missed and gave himself up to Tactical, giving another kill to the Filipino ADC.
Yeah, it's a big fumble from the VNC support there. Mistiming it as well. Should have just backed off, in my opinion, but that gives overkill towards CKT. Even more money in the hands of that Ezreal, who is now hovering at 4,000 gold. And I think the most important part of this stage of the game is tracking where time-lapse is going. The Kazakhs, in my opinion, is the biggest piece of the CKT squad because if it snowballs, BNC is in trouble. If it doesn't, they're gonna prosper in the team fight. It's all a matter of how strong time-lapse could get.
Yeah, right now BNC needs to find a way to stabilize this game towards their side. We are nearing the 6-minute mark, which will be spawning up the Dragon as well as the Enchanted Ensemble. If BNC is able to secure one of these objectives, that's actually a really good for them.
Tactical getting low in HP, good disengage here or help by
Buena, Gario, buena.
Anu,
Es real, de NTF, mano.
unfortunately, it was the minion that took that one mystic shots. BNC, I think they're just gonna be going on a reset to prepare for the first objective, in which they should have the leverage now. Their composition is again built for 5v5 fights. They have the double reset capability as well with the Viego and the Lisandra.
10 seconds left until the first set of objectives. Now the question is, what is either team going to prioritize? I would imagine time-lapse is going to want to go towards Enchanted Ensemble. They are the team that looks to take split up the players of BNC, split up the map, take the fights individually, particularly for time-lapse, who is soloing, but the Dragon,
Rocks and Tactical trying to just distract them. Barrag's gonna be there as well. No steal here on the side of Chickman as they try to take down Helios. Perfect execution gonna be used as well as the flash in secures him the kill onto the car key. Good shuriken, but it's gonna be committed here by the members of BNC. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. Score gonna get chased now. Rocks TV getting the taunt as the public execution slams him down, and Chickman gets 2, and the objective is even. Tower gonna be taken down, and that's a big lead by Chickman already.
Blue buff even stolen right there, but Time has another hit right here.
DC will just use his ult to get away.
Yeah, D2C on the Viego able to get out with his ultimate. At the end of the day, it was a handshake on the objectives. Enchanted Ensemble going to the side of Chickmit, while the Dragon going to the side of BNC. But with the mid lane turret falling, Chickmit gets more gold from that exchange.
And that team fight is a perfect example of why you shouldn't mess with Helios on this Akali. Penetrating that backline, weeding out Whining, and taking him down with a flash. Helios went all in.
Guys, before that, D2C might be getting caught out here.
Yeah, he's trying to get to Tactical, but it's just so difficult to do that. Rox is going to be sacrificing his time. Tactical still barely alive. He's being chased now by the Corki, but it's going to be a double kill already by BNC. Helios going to be picking up the slack as he gets his own double as well.
That's 2-4-3 exchange in favor right there by Chickmit. But guys, I just want you to notice as well. Look at the gold between Time-Lapse and D2C. That's a 3,000 gold advantage right now on the jungler for Chickmit. That's why when you saw Time-Lapse jumping into Whining, even though he wasn't isolated, he took like half the HP with just one claw.
And the reason for that happening is because Chickmit decided to split up one player only. It was just Time-Lapse that took the ensemble, and the rest of the squad challenging the Dragon. While the fight went 50-50 in the Dragon, Time-Lapse was all this time in the top lane, getting the ensemble and triggering it as well. Just taking a lot of minutes in the process to get him the rewards of that big bag of gold, and now he's 3,000 ahead in just a single player.
They keep zoning out D2C from his own jungle as well. We constantly see Time-Lapse getting a camp onto the red side jungle of D2C, getting a camp onto the blue side jungle of D2C, even getting its blue buff at one point after the first tower was taken down. And it just is an accumulation of a gold lead for Chickmit, and slowly but surely, stress is also accumulating on the side of BNC.
That's why we always talk about, whenever we have these broadcasts, that it's so important to keep your mid lane turret alive. But before that, Sante might be getting in a really bad position right here. That's a Lissandra and the Viego in the bush.
They do have that massive damage. This should be a guaranteed kill. But a hero is going to be here. Rock says no, and the backup is instantaneously there from Chickmit.
And you thought that you were the ones getting the catch. You didn't know we were getting baited to be caught at the opposite end. All of the forge cat was used, but nothing really happened.
BNC, they got caught instead.
Yeah, and immediate response as well, right? Looking for that out, Rox immediately using the hero's entrance to supplement that already strong enforcement of CKT on the Baron lane. And just like that, here, guys, it's a 7,000 gold lead immediately for CKT, even before we hit the 10-minute mark.
My God.
And you talk about needing the Kazakhs to pop off. I think it's safe to say that Time-Lapse is popping off.
Talk about 1,000 GPM, man.
He's about to double the gold of D2C at this point. He's 5,000 gold ahead. The guy only has 5,500. He needs like 700 more. He has double the gold.
The guy's rich. Long must be proud.
Long will be proud. Time lapse right now really showing us how good he is on this champion, and that's what's tough when it comes to BO1s, right? It's you're playing as if it's the only game. You only have a couple of bans, and with a lineup like Chickmit, who has such a storied history in Wild Rift, it's gonna be so tough to ban them out.
And let's look at some of the ways BNC can actually recover from this game. Because there is a massive gold deficit now. 8,000 at 10 minutes is actually quite difficult to come back from. But they have picked up the Infernal Dragon a while ago. They need to invest resources to take the second dragon.
I mean,
Checkmate is going to be sending members as well to try
Miren que
and
tengo un
stop them
perrito
take this dragon
que
right now.
no,
But there is a
no
big
es un
objective
pinche
on
trabaje
the
más,
next 17
bulla,
seconds as well.
I mean,
muchachito.
I think in theory
Dame
goes a long
canzón.
way. But when you are 10,000
Pasa de
behind,
serenatero.
there's realistically nothing you can do to contest that dragon. It will be
10-3,
taken by
diferencia
Timy,
de oro.
top side though.
Let's see, tower gonna be taken down.
Uy,
That is at least some bounty.
bastantita.
Helios intercepting on the
Bastante diferencia de oro.
backside. Delisandro as well gonna be
O sea que
taken
Vietnam
down. That's a
queda
reset
eliminado
there
ya.
by
No tiene opción de
Chickmit.
escalado.
Getting the jumps
Puede
on
sumar
and
puntos
on
ni
and
nada.
on as time that's going for score.
Ya,
Trying to
cierren
get the
eso,
ace.
ríndanse.
That's gonna be a triple kill for Helios as well. And every single member of BNC
¿Será que en
are
estos
gonna be
eventos,
dead.
así como
And
los
it's barren time for
oficiales
Chickmit.
de
an
LoL,
ace right
no se
there
puede
for Chickmit. They will be
rendirse
securing the
realmente?
Baron, and if you look at the map as well, they have a wave in the top side. They might be looking for more towers.
There you have it, 10K in the bag ahead of the Vietnamese squad. And Helios with the triple as well. It's icing on top of this very beautiful cake laid out for us by Chickmit. Let's take a look at this one more time.
Yeah, let's
Rox
look at-
with a massive flag here, Crazy Apple.
Yeah, with a massive flank right there, it's a really good positioning for the side here of Chickmit, and with the amount of lead that they had, it's just there's no way that they would have lost this fight, and BNC, you could really see the desperation. They tried to group up to take that tower, but it's just Chickmit rounding them out right there, taking more kills, taking the Baron right after that.
And I think they
Tiene
really
que
worked
reproducido
into fire
desde
off
hace
this
rato.
heat. They invested, BNC invested everything to
Dude,
take down Rox.
Helios is just toying with them at this point. Another perfect execution. Heroes entrance as well. And Chickmit, they are just heroes grouping up, taking down BNC. Looks like a retaliation is coming through. D2C can actually get the shutdown. He does. The Corky gets
Mejor
it,
así.
but it's at the cost of another ace as time-lapse breaches the backline once again.
And look at the top lane, Tante has a wave. There's no members of BNC right here. Tante can end the game right here, right
Yeah,
now.
remember, BNC got aced, and that is the base wide open from BNC. And CKT, Chickmit are not slowing down. It is just both inhib turrets going down. There's still shielding. It's still so early in the game that the base still has a shield. We barely hit the 13-minute mark. Here comes the Forge God.
Oh my
man,
God.
The Forge God looks like you have to call
no.
everyone to rebuild this base of BNC. 13 minutes, we see all the inhibitor towers destroyed by Chickmit.
Tante just blocking the call of the Forge God right there with a public execution, stopping the Horde from getting the push, but
And no
Tamla,
one's gonna stop their engage. This time, Helios as well, getting a good flank, but the shooting across is a little bit off.
Buena,
Because the
Galio,
engage is gonna be there as
pasiva.
well. At least Rockets is gonna be shut down here by BNC. They do have the
Remonta,
number
remonta.
advantage. Time lapse is down as well.
Remonta Vietnam.
5v3, Chickmit calls it off.
yeah, that was an overextension from Chickmit. They should have backed off, and BNC catching them in the mid lane. Yes, there are no more inhibitors right now for the side of BNC. It's going to be hard for them to go for any push, but that is some shutdown goal that has gone their way.
And the key to taking a shutdown onto Rox as well was Score, using that anti-shielding that Renekton inherently has to just nullify the stone plate of Rox as well. And then time-lapse trying to save his teammate, not fighting anything.
Ooh, good damage by D2C. Helios, if he gets shut down, that's going to be a massive takedown, but turns it around instead. I mean, Kuzi got a 1-for-1 trade, but still, that is an outplay by Helios.
Man, I just felt Helios went like, my turn, and just popped D2C with a combo. Kuzi was there for
good measure.
for good measure to at least, you know, get a 1-for-1 for his
Yeah,
team.
but here we go. Continue on with the onslaughts. That is Philippines versus Vietnam. 13,000 the lead for Chickmates. But we gotta remember as well, right? This is a team fighting comp from Vietnam. So if it goes later and later, there will eventually come a point that the lead will be non-existent and VNC can take over. So Checkmate, realistically, they have a time limit.
I mean, if you played a lot of ranked games and you never surrender, there's always the biggest objective that you can get to try to get back into the game, and that's going to be the Elder Dragon, which is going to be a long whiles away. So VNC has to really hold on, clear these waves, stop Chickmate from ending the game so that they can extend and look forward for those opportunities.
Right. Objective spawning up. This could be a point of focus for both squads, but the Ice Dragon immediately down. Rocks hovering around the Baron buff. So
Dignan aguantando
also
con las
wants to
uñas.
protect the Baron, and VNC have to
Con lo
respond.
poco que tiene.
Pressing into the bottom lane. Kuzi calling a recall in the top lane. Baron's gonna be a massive problem here by VNC, especially with the setup here.
They want
Chickmate. Ice imprisonment here onto Helos, getting low in HP, but still living, especially because of that Hero's entrance. Kuzi onto the backside. Shuriken toss. He's going in. He gets outplayed instead. He gets outplayed by Kuzi, but it's still gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. Chickmate looking for another angle time. It's gonna be onto the backside. Public execution there. But Perfect chunking them down. Even Wyvern is just gonna be taken out. It's only score remaining alive, but it's on the base already. Just defending their Nexus, but with Chickmate still complete as 4. Outnumbering score. There's no way to go, nowhere to hide, and nowhere to run as Chickmate finds the checkmate onto VNC, going straight onto the Nexus and getting the win against them.
Yeah, and this is it. Chickmate, they wanted to face Vietnam, they wanted to face Vietnam Chosen, and they prove it right here that they can take them down in the 5v5.
And look at the smiles on the boys' faces. They know what they did. They did something special here today, and they should be proud of what they've achieved.
Yeah, because usually it's going to be 2 for 1. We're speeding all throughout the draft here. You call that right, Triolis, but we're looking at
Equipo de creadores contra el anterior Real CKT.
You have the Rise lock-in for CKT as their third pick, and when it comes to the bans, they ban away the Mordekaiser, the Gwen, and the Lee Sin for both these teams as a respect.
Yeah, I mean, for that Mordekaiser pick, we've seen that on the, I think, game number 1, they had the Morde, and the way that they scaled over the Amorde, it just dominated the early to mid game until like they won the game.
Yeah, and it's really scary as well if you do have some sort of like a heavy carry on your side that's very well fed. Maybe that could be time lapse, maybe that could be tactical. Then the Mordekaiser is one answer to sort of isolate that away from your teammates.
And now what Team Quezon needs is someone to be the sponge for the team, someone to be in the front line to really carry out and engage for the Team Korea. Because so far, Ambessa will just stay on top side and go 1v1 ham up against Tante. They still need someone to go for that engage, to go for those team fights in the front line.
But actually, it's going to be interesting to see. Ambessa will try to go to the back lane for tactical, but we all know
los celulares con que están jugando también un dato ahí interesante.
100%. That Featherstorm, it does feel like tactical is going to be
Son
self-sufficient.
Xiaomi 14, 15 Pro, son Xiaomi 15.
Now that means perhaps Rocks can, you know, just play the typical
En el primer día aparecía como el logo de la marca y todo eso, pero los mandaron a forrar.
I mean, Galio's still
Los mandaron a tapar el logo y le colocaron el nombre del evento.
We don't know where these champions are going to go. And yes, Lucian and Yumi surely is going into the bot lane, but where these other champions are going to go.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's an Ord support. Yeah.
The question now for CKT as their final pick. Viego will be locked in.
I like the Viego pickup here because I've seen the performance from time lapse on that Viego, and he has his prio. So getting maybe the soul of Ambessa could really disrupt again the team clash, but analyzing the team, the comp here for the side of TS, I think their goal here is going to be focusing on the back lane since they have the Ambessa, Lucian, and the Yumi, and of course the Saint just going around the clash. So let's see, because they have Orin to support the back lane of the CKT.
Exactly. I think that's what I'm most curious about. Is the Featherstorm enough? Is Call of the Forge God enough? Because I can imagine the Viego and the Camille, the Rise especially, are going to be in the thick of things, in the middle of things. So I'm just so excited because it's so different from the previous game where it's like Assassin Mayhem, just as you said, Infinity. But this time around, I think they need to be more aware about their position.
Yeah, it is a very oppressive composition for both these sides. You have the likes of CKT really banking on to those engages that could stack up those crowd controls, the dependency onto the likes of Ornn and Tante to really start up these fights. And for Team Quezon, you have the likes of Singe coming into the mid lane that can potentially just fling around champions into the air.
Yeah, so part of an unorthodox pick having that Singe, but I've seen some good Singe players over the years. And I believe Singe is one of those picks that's no in between. It's either really good or really bad.
Right, because you got, honestly, you can just get kited for days, maybe not being able to reach the backline of the target that you desire. So honestly, I'm really curious how KDU is going to do this.
Yeah, but it indeed is a question. But here, coming down into the early game here, it will be a pace wherein Team Tayson will have to respect this oppression coming in from the likes of the Zaya and potentially even the Ornn as well, putting a lot of pressure into the bottom side of the map. As we all know, those level 1 to level 3,
Arrancamos con la partida.
there will be a lot of aggression.
Las están dando mamonazos. Nuevamente un Rise. Junto a un Singed. Vamos a ver cómo se comporta esto.
So maybe in like early game, it's going to be tough for the Singe because we all know that Rise does have the AoE, just splashing out his first skill. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs against a Singe here.
Exactly. When we think about the mid and jungle duo as well, we know how much of this potential coming from time lapse to just really farm up a storm and have what 5-7k gold lead against the opposing jungler. So I'm sort of trying to figure out how will they set
Juegos de
them up
mucho
for
movimiento,
time lapse,
mucho de
especially
que
a
para aquí
Singe
para allá, de allá
so,
para acá.
I mean, he can run
Tiene que
fast,
jala que
but
tire.
he can't exactly dash.
I mean, I think you just want to say Singe is annoying.
Yeah, a little bit, pretty much.
I mean,
don't expose me. That's true. I was trying to be a little bit more nicer and politer.
Sure. And the thing is, like this draft composition compared into the prior series is drastically different for CKT as Acrobat pincered across 3 members from Team Tayson, but first blood coming through for the Korean
Se bajó la gata,
team,
no tuvo fe.
will answer back as Harang is in danger and Rox will go in for the chase. Time lapse
La
goes
primera
for
kill
the
se la llevó la
double
gata,
kill
no.
for CKT.
Así
That's
no.
the thing I was talking about earlier, the 2-for-1, because if you look at the side of
Al final no sabes para quién
CC,
trabajas.
that Yumi cannot go to a teammate to go for safety, so pretty good engage there coming from CKT.
That's the thing, right? It is a buy one, take one sort of scenario with that Yumi. And I mean, with a good first blood, but at the same time, the problem is, remember, time lapse. Once he gets the lead, CKT knows how to take advantage.
Yeah, and this is what we mentioned a while ago. With the Lucian and the Yumi pickup, Team Tayson has to play it a bit safe. You cannot go this aggressive.
And if they over-engage, they have a lot of disengage. Also, again, the Camille can just go ham to that side.
Exactly. KDU!
Yeah, you have RCC
That was close.
¿Qué fue eso?
Paying a visit here in the mid lane. They have to alleviate the pressure coming from Helios.
Yeah, because Helios as well, like we talk about time lapse from the previous game, but also the Akali, his performance was just stellar. He was just going at it, he was going ham, he had 1 HP and still is able to eliminate the Lissandra that was 100%. So that's something that you do not want to do, and now time lapse is even dominating the opposing jungler's jungle.
Yeah, he has the confidence, he has 2 kills already in the bag, and the thing is, he has the level lead as well. What can Team Tayson do?
I think for Team Tayson, for right now, they have to scale up. Because this Viego, if he gets more kills, and I've seen a lot of early game Viegos, if they dominate that early game, that can be so hard to come back.
And that's the scary part, because you have a lot of setup. There's hard CC on the side of Conte's side, even Helios' side, and even on Roxas. So every single lane that he wants to visit, there is a setup for him to keep filling up kills for time lapse.
Yeah, you mentioned about Conte as well with the Camille. You mentioned about these top laners, and the thing is, like, you want to alleviate some of that pressure on the weak side of the map. But the thing is, RGC couldn't really bring down Conte that easy because Camille is one of the most mobile champions.
That's true, and Camille could just again focus on the back lane, or also ult just for her safety. So much things you can do with the Camille.
A lot of creativity in the works here, including this team composition as well. But I can't imagine, even when it all comes together, there is a lot of big team fight potential. Looking at the priority, though, I want to talk about Acrobat a little bit. His performance yesterday was incredibly impressive, but a gank is not going to push through. Anyway, Acrobat 1v1, Ferris against Irelia, able to sidestep. Micro abilities is there for this player, so I definitely want to see more of that, especially you're up against the PH squad such as CKT.
And it's very hard to make a dive into the bottom side of the map. If we're looking at the map at the moment, you have vision onto the bottom river. Acrobat knows that he cannot be that oppressive in the early game, so that vision actually saved Team Quezon in the bot side.
I mean, they would really want to utilize the Lucian Yumi combo, but again, they make things overthinking because they don't know if time's gonna be there on the bot side too. I mean, again, Viego right now with 2 kills already, you would really want to prevent him getting more goals.
The 2v1 situation, but once
A
again,
empezar con todo, aún le falta la ulti, engancha, se la neutralizan.
RGC falls down, but looking at the backside, it will be Acrobat who will pay a greeting up against CKT, a 1-for-1 secured.
That is what I'm talking about earlier. Camille has a lot of things that she can
En un
do,
momento, un momento.
Fight is not over, exhaust on the tactical. The
Buena,
ultimate
Lucian,
will
buena,
not
Lucian.
be casted, and CKT will
Ahí
lose
nomás, Lucian.
tactical, will
Aguanta,
lose
aguanta.
their ADC, and Quezon will get the upper edge.
You gotta love what's happening right here. It's incredibly active roaming coming from TS. We talked about Acrobat literally a few seconds ago, how he could possibly be the key to recover or even match time lapses impact
insecto de
in
la
this early
luz.
game so far.
De la Yumi, man, cura mucho.
But Camille ulted to buy time for the backup.
Buena.
On the top side, Ilios in trouble.
Oh,
Buena, buena.
Danger,
Buenísima.
with that flash over the
No se la
wall,
esperaba el
securing
Rice.
Helios, and that is disastrous, as this will be a 5v4
Son un equipo de
situation
jugadores
for the
profesionales.
objective.
La
There we go.
TS y
It is
el
going to be an
TD,
objective fight. Carlos half HP.
full equipos
CKT
profesionales.
has to pay the price of losing one player in the top side of the map, and Ensemble will be secured by Team Quezon.
Definitely a good thing that they secured the ensemble because right now game is still quite close, but in case of momentum, they need to recover and get more on their side.
The Feather Storm already used very extensively in this lane, and CKT is running off the Drake. They want that objective, but RGC melted out, and Tante Hexacle onto Acrobat. He will just get decimated, and CKT will collapse. PDU trying to run away. That will be enough. Ambessa going to counter engage, and time-lapse will face defeat.
Just in time to save the teammate. Carlo is able to get the Viego time-lapse now, who was already like turning that clash there.
I know, it was absolutely insane. You could feel that time-lapse wanted the extra kill, but Carlo was right there to just end that streak. Let's take a look at that replay again. Exactly.
It's nice that they were able to get the Lucian down from the Camille of Monte. And I was feeling that he really wants to get that kill, but Ambessa again was there to save the day for Team TS.
Again, having to eliminate that sends out right off the bat.
A
The
diferencia de
reset,
oro.
as you said, which is so important for them to clean up. And remember, the only disengage that they have
Están
is the
parejos,
sit-down.
están parejos.
Once that's done, they can't run away properly.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can utilize that. Because the thing is, RGC is nowhere to be found here for this objective, and CKT will get the Drake uncontested.
Dragón
Okay,
para
good news and bad
SKT.
news. Of course, from either side. Good news, at least you have to see Carlo sort of, win his lane, have a comfortable lane. Maybe they might even get first blood tower, unless mid lane is already gone. The sun is really, really up right now. But anyway, a fight could ensue here. Tante's fine. Tante's fine. The bad news is TS still has to deal with a 6-1 time-lapse
Vamos.
Rocks, all of the Force Gods readying up for that engage. Will not connect onto KDU with that movement speed. The Conte has to bring the flash over back to safety. But now the Realm Warp goes through in support, and CKT
Atrapada.
responds. CKT will find Harak, will find 3. RGC trying to retreat, but will not be able to do so. CKT with a 4 kill.
Esa entrada ahí de ese
That
Rice,
bad corner where
ese sensor.
Time was able to get the opportunity, get that timing. Again, he knows just the damage, and meanwhile right now, CKT getting the first tower here at the top side.
Honestly, what a fight. And I want wanted to talk about the Yumi
Acabando la
ultimate.
torre.
You could see CKT really moved aside politely. They
Torre abajo.
politely,
I like the wording.
slowly, politely,
Y haciendo el
elegantly,
aguante.
and none of the CKT members was caught out at all by that CC. And we talked about it during the draft, where when you're expected to be jumped on, you press that Yumi ultimate. But look at that!
The polite.
The politeness is visible, right, Crayola?
Yeah, it's just a realm warp
Such a
TG.
polite thing to do.
Yeah, I know.
Response. It's crazy to think about.
Oh boy. And then again, there is, I did say it's a little bit of a good news that at least Carlo is able to rack up a couple of kills, maybe some sort of consolation prize for every skirmish and team fight. But that's just a 4-1. Time-lapse is going to get stronger and stronger, and they're going to get even more aggressive to take advantage of this lead.
Oh, time-lapse again was able to hunt down.
Onto RGC into the backline. Public execution trying to go for the counter engage. Carlo able to bring down time-lapse. So this is one of the key players for CKT gone. But Ponte is still there. Hextech ultimate onto one. It will be a 2-for-2 trade.
Good disengage there, but we have no action here.
KDU still
Se
finding
sigue lo que
that
corre, mano.
finding tactical.
Recogiendo
Acrobat
plumas
looking for
allá.
that angle, but Rox is just too tanky first down, but able to
crítico.
find it eventually. Now Acrobat is
Y
on
ahí
the
ya se siente la diferencia. Cuando llevas una ayuda y no la llevas.
And retreat. And Tante will come out unscathed. And Team Tayson will just be able to get a couple of kills in the end.
That is what Team TS needed. They need that Lucian to finally get those kills, finally get those skills. They're gonna need him in the late game.
And that fight was also the most ideal for Acrobat as well. Being able to be in the best spot, the Yumi with a perfect angle, and CKT is unable to disengage and do nothing at all. And it was just the cleanup crew, basically, and CKT had to run for the hills.
Yeah, I mean, just look at time-lapse. I want to talk about these players specifically. This man has been melting every single one, but before then, this will be a fight. Hextech ultimatum onto Carlo. There is no escape. A little bit tanky, but Tonti's on the case with the flash as well to secure the kill. Cause the Force God trying to buy time. Realm as well canceled. But this will be RGC that falls down as CKT with a quick response.
Remember, the Baron is alive. No jungler. That's 20 seconds on the clock. That means they're able to at least sort of position themselves and get more wards away, de-ward wards down. But looks like CKT is just going to be happy for that reset, as Dragon is going to be coming up in 20 seconds.
Yeah, one thing we appreciate about Tick Mid, I think they have mastered the art of backup.
Yeah.
Because they know if there's a possible gank happening, they're there, rotating already to that side.
Yeah, and you called it right. There's a lot of options for CKT. You have the Realm Warp for that quick response. As we saw a while ago, that polite excuse me.
Yumi, emboscada, emboscada, emboscada.
As you see right now, Acrobat says they're greeting onto Tante, looking for that chase. And Tante's HP is just getting melted down. Realm Warp counts it out.
CKT
will not be able to go through. Just a bait there, but CKT will lose Tante. But that response is something that they want. Williams will be flanked up in the air, isolated. Now KDU being burned out by the Ignite. The trade will be secured, but it will still be Team Tayson who gets the double.
Okay, 1-for-1.
Para durar, a ver si hacen algo, no hacen.
4-1 as the Baron's now getting started. Time-lapse still alive, but that Baron's going down really fast.
No call of the Force God for CKT, so
¿Qué
no
será un
potential
50-50?
use but that's
No creo, primero hay que matar al jungla.
RGC
No, el jungla va a morir.
melted, and CKT
Se recupera CKT.
CKT.
Hijo de Lucio no se deja, ya hasta llegaron.
And now time-lapse coming into play, stuns connects onto Harrow, and
borrados, exterminio.
secure the ace.
Ah, no, sigue por el cielo. Apenas salió.
That was beautiful, following up with a better start. I mean, then time-lapse is doing time-lapse makes. It's going to be a good Baron here for the side of Sigmund.
What a wonderful fight, a beautiful team fight started by Rox there, just as you said, with the root coming from Zaya and then into a Baron. I think that's a very, very sweet deal. I get it though. I get it. The knockup is insane. But I get the call here coming from TS. The math was mathing. We had more numbers, but they did not take into account how much of a big setup the Ornn could do.
And it was looking like TS had the advantage. Rox did not have the call for Force God. There was no big engage potential and option for CKT, but all of a sudden, Rox just did a miracle play.
He came out alive too with 1 HP, by the way.
Wow, honestly, yeah, that's Rox. Just another day at work for Rox, you know. 1 HP, yeah, I'll just knock 4. Cool. obviously with this Baron buff, they're just maximizing a lot of these things, taking down a lot of these towers. Now the question is, do they have a decent amount of wave clear? Knowing that you have a mid lane Singe, you sort of run around and use your smoke to sort of wave clear, but it's not exactly similar to like a Ziggs in the mid lane or Rihanna in the mid lane is able to safely remove waves from a safe angle.
I think it's going to be tough right now for the side of TS because we're currently at the 14th minute of the game.
Yep.
We got the rise of Helios already
Se
with
que cierre rápido esa partida.
and the Arcano staff. Also the anti-shield
Yeah.
that we really need against TS Singe right now on a 0-1-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the moment, CKT was just able to utilize that Baron Nashor, getting 2 tier 2 turrets from the top side of the map in the mid lane. And that just ballooned their gold. They're now currently sitting at an 8k gold lead.
Yeah, this is really, really tough coming from TS. It felt like they had a chance after they won that, team fight into the Baron. But again, there's just so many domino effects that Rocks did to enable them to get more map space. That means Dragon's going to be a little bit unreachable. They need to win a scrimmage. They need to get a pick. And how will they get a pick?
Vamos,
It's a little bit difficult with a team composition that they have. Maybe a flash
emboscada.
and then burst them all down.
Let's put a main focus here for time-lapse. Look at the gold. That's 16k. He already has 4 items in the bag. So really, Team Tayson has to keep an eye on the jungler from CKT with a huge threat of damage.
And remember, this is going to be possibly the 3rd Dragon soul point for Chickman. So I don't think it's possible for TS to contest, but they could to avoid the storm.
Tante now opting to go into the bottom lane. They're looking for the angle for that gank. Every single one of them is going for it. It's a call of the Force God looking into the backside. Hextech ultimatum onto KDU. CKT will collapse against Team Kateson. But they have to retreat because time lapse is very low. Tante is very low, but it does not matter. Stack
No.
for that kill.
El hambre de la kill. Hasta ahí llegó. No hay de otro, hasta ahí.
I saw the vision. You get the Featherstorm, flash it, root them all up, get that follow-up from CKT to re-engage the fight. Unfortunately, however,
El hambre de la kill pasando
Carla was
factura.
able to find the best angle, get that knock-up up, and then punish that play. I really saw it from far away, but still, CKT is still in the lead.
I mean, if that Featherstorm connected from tactical, that could have saved the clash here for Chickmid, but right now it's going to be soul point for Chickmid.
Yeah, CKT secures the third Drake. Acrobat pays a surprise.
Look at that,
Very low already. It will be a surprise factor.
Chow.
Demolish. Time lapse. Look into the backside. It will be 3 down. And CKT looking for that angle, looking for that objective. But so far, really demolishes TS in that surprise.
That damage was insane. I was just caught by surprise after that one combo from Helios, and unfortunately Acrobat got deleted immediately and it enabled into this Baron, and more towers are going to go down. More map pressure is going to go down in favor of CKT, and I want to see this from the perspective of TS. What can they do? Because earlier, time-lapse was a threat. Now it's Helios as well into the equation.
I mean, analyzing what they could do here for the side of TS.
Yeah.
Vamos a ser concentraditos.
Let them
Diego.
overextend and maybe get tactical. But again, right now, tactical with a KDA of 3-3, also has 1-2-3. 3 items, and with the stasis, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, the Featherstorm on top of the stasis, that is going to be quite the safest Xayah here in this game. And now they might try to re-engage the fight here onto Tante. You talked about this, Friolis. A punish, a catch, a pickup, but no, Tante's just too slippery.
And this is what we mentioned a while ago, right? You really just can't pay a visit into Tante and expect to burst him down that easy, because this is one of the most mobile champions. Says hi, just goes in, goes back to retreat with the hook shot basically over the wall. So really CKT is controlling the pace of this game with the Baron Nashor, a lot of pressure in all lanes.
And the way that Tante plays out Camille, he's one of those Camille's who would really go to your face and stays in your face.
Exactly. It's just going to be such a nuisance, and I feel like Acrobat has to be a bit more careful when it comes to positioning. You saw the punish, Helios saw it, immediately took it. Tante could do the same as well. And earlier we talked about safety. There's a Guardian Angel and a Stasis on time lapse. There's no way he's gonna die in this game.
I mean, his item block
Ahí
already.
en gusto. Chau, chau, chau, chau.
Furious rock
Uy.
damage onto KDU. Already
Casi
one
agarra a
HP.
Singed.
Oh,
Uy, lo rompe, lo rompe.
KDU and RGC is already gone. It's a 5v.
Con una ulti.
Trying to run away, trying to retreat, but
Ya,
every time that's
mueren,
in tactical, going for the chase, and CKT looking to end it as the base is open and CKT is knocking on TS's door.
Wow.
Bueno,
Securing the Elder, and they know they have this game in the back.
Así no dejaron escalar a Lucian.
Lucian,
¿con cuánto quedó?
Acrobat trying to
4-4.
delay the fight, but
La
with the time
Sacha,
lapse
mira cómo la
looking to
Sacha ha
end it.
asistido un
The
resto.
Nexus is open,
Esa es la
and
diferencia entre una DC y otro.
CKT wins up
Buena
ahead,
DC.
Team Tayson.
And
Buena,
he
buena.
goes golden.
Buena,
gotta
Secretary,
be,
buena.
gotta be golden here.
Buena G.
Oh my word. And I just want to say that the rest of CKT was still chasing down KDAs and kills. And he's like, okay guys, I'm just gonna end the game right here. You guys do your thing.
Is looking for the angle for those assassinations in the back lines. The potential target being Kuzi and Ning. The thing about Vietnam Chosen,
Bueno, viene.
the players that we have to look at is the mid lane and the bottom lane. And you know what Team Tayson is thinking? Let's go in for the Nocturne. We already have an immediate answer.
Contra
in
los
this
de
back
Vietnam.
line.
Yeah, Nocturne's always going to be an intimidation factor at all games because the paranoia, you have no vision for like 5 seconds.
Yep.
And you don't know if the Nocturne's going to you. So it's kind of a guessing game on this Nocturne.
Exactly. It's like once paranoia activates, you're like, where's that? Where's that? Is it on your lane? Is it in my lane? I don't know.
I've been to those comms where
Yeah.
where's the Nocturne? To you? To me?
Do you know?
Yeah.
That's what I can imagine the comms immediately. And I'm really curious here because I'm going
Bueno,
to
es rara
rewind a little
ese.
bit here because there's a lot of air quote mid-lane
Nautilus.
focused bans, a lot of these you know, control mages being banned, which means that perhaps
Señor
there is some sort of
Campanitas
emphasis
también
for
ahí,
Kuzi to get
integrándose al
that
combo.
counter pick on towards red side. So again, we don't know what we're gonna get, but Kuzi is definitely the highlight of the show as well on VNC side.
For sure. And now when it comes to the banter, VNC has that eyes on those frontline tanky champions that can follow through on this engage because realistically speaking, Team Tayson still needs a follow through from the Tempered Fate, from those initial engages that Harang is trying to set up.
Renekton va a top, eso sí es garantizado por ley.
They're not banning any kind of ADC beside TS.
Yeah, they've definitely assessed, and I'm wondering as well, the focus ban on the single target holds like the Hextech Ultimatum and the Season Assist, which means that they're heavily going to bank on a solo bolo type carry, which is going to be Acrobat, on where if you remove Acrobat out of the equation, then they lose the team fight. So removing these, you know, hard CC junglers is a good solution, but I'm seeing a Rumble.
Interesting. Rumble against a Renekton in the top side feels like a chess match
Yeah.
because both is capable of early game early game damage.
Rumbles.
Having the Ornn as
Si
the-
Rumble iría a medio entonces. Or
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it can be
¿Con qué saldrán
potentially
esta
be
gente?
like an Ornn going into top side of the map and then Rumble
Rumble.
going into mid. But the thing is, for VNC, what I'm scared about this composition is so far,
¿Qué
they
ADC
do
van
not
a
have
traer?
all-in engaged
Entonces
champions.
sí,
This is what
vaya
they
ese.
need. The Fate Seal, those
Yone va a ir a medio.
CCs that will play a crucial
Renekton
part
top.
in that 5v5 setup.
Oh boy, exactly. This is going to be
Rumble
extra
medio.
exciting. KDU
Sí,
brought
la
up the
pena es
Surge
necesario.
earlier. Didn't work out so well. Rumble definitely has...
Or
Wait a minute. It's KDU Ornn. It's an Ornn in the mid lane here.
Rumble or
And, okay, I can't imagine. I see the vision because usually if you have a carry jungler, like a Nocturne such as that, or a setter,
Rumble
that means
or
you're able
al
to
medio
just really
o a
dish out
top.
a ton of damage.
¿Qué dicen
You
ustedes?
set up in the mid lane, then you could potentially visit
También pienso lo
and
mismo.
attack Kuzi as well, which is the champion that you need to shut down from
Rumble
early
debería
to
ir al
mid game,
medio,
because late game the Ziggs is going to be
porque
an absolute
rota,
threat.
tienen
For sure. And the thing is,
más
we saw
rotación, pero no lo dejaron así.
Vietnam Chosen looking at the early game draft. Nocturne is available from the opposition. We cannot just leave our backlines open, and we cannot pick these squishy
Juanbu.
champions. So we'll opt to go for the
Foi.
Yone instead and just leave the Ziggs to be
Por
that main
fin.
damage leader into the back end. As you have mentioned,
Cosi,
this will be the main
cosi.
damage perspective that Vietnam
De
Chosen is
dosi.
banking on.
Yeah, for the side of
This
VNC,
score.
I understand their lineup.
Hararan.
They play for picks.
Yeah.
For the side
Acrobat.
of TS,
KDU.
they always surprise me.
The orange
RGC.
mid,
On
right?
a good way,
Carlo.
okay? Because,
For sure.
Carlo.
Orn in the mid against
Carlo.
a Ziggs, I mean, yeah, you
Interesante
can
nombre.
take damage because if you follow the tanky Orn, but again, I'm still surprised on their picks.
Yeah, it does feel like with the picks that they have, their strongest is going to be these objective dances around the dragon or the Baron later on. They've got so much CC, they've got so much team fight, 5v5 potential. It's absolutely insane, but that is if they get there.
Now
Listo.
we are
Comenzó
jumping
esto, a ver.
into the rift. It's Team
En definitiva, sí dejaron a Lord
from Korea versus
en el medio.
Team Vietnam chosen.
Seguro porque pueden
Yeah, the home crowd.
detener los.
B and C, but we have early action here.
Ay, ay, ay, Nauti.
Acrobat and Hara
Nauti.
forces out the flash
Buena, buena.
from Swan. Kill. And that is a big advantage
está
the
tu
team
pico.
Taesong was able to secure.
That's a
Ya
really good
analizamos
early
ese
flash
pico láser es bonito.
takeaway because usually what you want to do with the
Tiene esta
Ziggs,
bonita.
Ziggs versus
Tiene los
Ezreal,
detalles.
oh,
Ahí
the
fue, ahí fue.
1v1, I think he's fine, hopefully. I think the one thing that I really like about the Ziggs and
Cling.
Ezreal matchup is that
Cling,
Waffinen
cling,
can be
cling,
left to his
cling.
own devices usually because you do have that, wave clear advantage versus the single, single shots that an Ezreal, dishes out. So I think Waffinen is going to be comfortable, but a Flash's Nautilus, they wanted to use that a bit more aggressively, so that means, Swanvu should be, tamed a little bit here in the early game.
For sure. Although on the flip side, when we're looking at this draft as well for VNC, thankfully enough, Whining is on Ziggs, so not exactly the composition into the bottom side of the map that you have to oversend, that you have to reach far away
Yeah.
to gate those farms. Just throw away bombs, you get those XP, you gain those golds.
Yeah, I mean, I discussed it earlier that APC Ziggs has been quite often already here at the stage. So, yeah, I like the pick. Having Ziggs as your APC out against Nautilus with those hooks could really complement
Ahí
themselves.
nomás, ahí
It is
nomás.
classic, right? We have seen this like in the first 2 years of League of Legends. Well, we are
Yep.
already in
Yeah,
our
and it's
5th
annoying
year
too.
already. For sure, right? You
been
just have so much bombs just coming across from far
I
away.
can't even farm.
You don't know where it's coming from.
Exactly, like right now, Exhibit A, we literally saw Acrobat like beyond half HP was Hararang that was close to his demise, and now all of a sudden, bot lane sort of trying to run for the hills.
Nocturne, just waiting for those opportunities to try and find Swanyu.
Not yet 5.
and Whining, but not yet level 5. No access to that ultimate just yet.
That's the thing with APC Ziggs. So, you can't go near.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that Acrobat and Harong were having some struggles on farming because that's what Ziggs does.
Exactly.
That shows you off.
The good news, a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Hold that
Uy,
thought
qué pasó
as we
ahí.
get to see Kuzi getting ignited. He's fine. Okay, at least there's a bridge.
That was close.
Not enough
Tanta la
damage
presión
as
que
yet.
mete
Not
el
yet.
real que lo dejan
It's just like a
solo.
little bit of a teeny tiny crystal at the
Igual pues
hands
no es
of
que
Acrobat,
necesite mucha
but
ayuda al
again,
inicio,
the equalizer is able to reach the back
pero
line.
rota bastante el
Paranoia as
equipo de
well.
Vietnam.
Swanyu in the front lines, Acrobat feeling a lot of that
Tiene
pressure coming from
bastante
Swanyu,
rotación,
but so
se
far
mueven rápido.
these long-range champions need not have any threat from the opposition, given the fact that they're not.
El
or
medio John
they
está
have
haciendo y
their own
deshaciendo,
self.
ahora sube,
Exactly.
rota
It was the
rápidamente,
equalizer, paranoia, call of the forge
pero
god,
se devuelve.
and tempered
Se
fate is
devuelve.
able to reach the backline. So even if you can't physically be there, at least there is some sort of reach to tickle the Ziggs a little bit.
But what I love about this bottom lane as well is that
He cannot
Whining
farm.
is already at that.
El Real ahí
You
encerradito.
have a lot of that pressure into
¿Qué
the
puedes
backline
hacer,
as
Real?
well,
¿Por
and
qué?
Nautilus, as we
¿Puta
all
miel?
know, is one of the strongest supports at level 1 to level 3.
Camperos.
And it's going to be a huge help.
Pero no,
for,
si la salsa está abajo.
The bottom side. Again, yeah, I understand the perspective of Acrobat because he might be Ezreal, he does have long range, but just totally opposite was a hook, the bombs.
Yeah.
Where would you go?
And RGC
Denegado el
is
azul.
the bottom side. He doesn't even need to do anything, and Summoner Spell burned
Yeah.
already for the
Yeah.
likes
The
of
art
Whining.
of intimidation.
Yeah.
That's true. It is quite effective, honestly. I'm
Entonces,
sorry,
¿qué
I
tiene
was
para
like
la
smiling a
mejor
lot
posición
earlier
del ward
because
que uno
there was
tiene
a
que
moment in
dejar?
time where there was so much going on in the bot lane, and then the camera pans to the jungle of DS where Kuzi and D2C are just waiting for RGC to visit the his blue buff, but nothing happened there.
On the
but
bot
maybe
side, we have some action in the bot side. In the bot side.
yeah, the bot side.
Yep.
And the bot side.
And the bot
In the bot side.
side.
But given the fact that we're already reaching these level 5s,
Partida reñida, solamente una kill. Una kill en estos 5 minutos. No hay mucho. No hay mucha acción.
What do you think would be the important perspectives from both these teams?
I mean, right now, the teams, a little bit of lead here coming from VNC, so of course you would want to maybe secure the ensembles to create more economy gold, but getting the dragon could work as well.
Cross the core, into the backside, you do DC. Wanting to start off on an engage.
Wow.
But VNC's knockup will not connect, and that will dissuade the all-in engage for VNC.
I love the adjustment. Let's do a lane swap instead. Objectives are about to spawn anyway, so I'll be near
Ese
board.
rumbo es
Let's see who's
preocupante.
feasible. Score's gonna be fine.
Mete bastante daño.
No equalizer just yet, despite being
Mucho
lethal.
daño.
But 10 seconds on the clock. This is a good adjustment. You
Mate
just
lo
gotta
normal.
be careful though, because Kuzi, once the knockup gets set, if that dredge line hits ya, it could be an instant death for you.
But there's a
Buena
problem.
ulti,
Fate Seal
pegando a
still
dos.
not available. You also do not have the depth
Ori, ¿y la
or
kill?
Vietnam
¿Dónde hicieron
chosen.
esa kill?
So far,
No
Team
muestran la
Fate
kill.
has a lot of ultimates ready and available to dissuade the potential steal
¿En
for
qué momento
VNC.
hicieron la
With that
kill?
said,
¿En qué momento
uncontested
empacaron la kill?
ensemble secured by Team Tayson.
A ver,
The dragon still
a la
up
expectativa.
is for grab for both teams. I do think a team
Por el
is
dragón.
gonna challenge taking this dragon.
Yeah, they just have to wait for those ultimates to be ready. Fate Seal is already up for Kuzi. Cataclysm is ready for D2C as well. So starting off the fight can play a huge role for Vietnam Chosen to gain the better lead, but no angle as of yet.
Ideally, the fight that they want to do, Hararang lands an important
Sácalo,
fate
sácalo.
stall into a combo of Call of the Forge God, True Shot Barrage, and then you have to poke
Ignal
a
está
little
jugando
bit for
bien,
anything
rotan
else, though,
agresivamente.
because the poking game, it does feel like Waffen
Bastante
does have
agresividad.
a bit of that lead, as you get to see Acrobat already pretty much chunked down a little bit, but this mid lane tower, once that's down, the TS will have a bit more space on this objective.
Yeah, Vietnam Chosen has to pick their poison. Toss the Forest God already casted alongside with the Fate Seal. Try and delay it, but it will not be enough. As Team Tayson will gain the bigger edge.
Botadito.
It will be the numbers advantage.
Otro,
This
uno
will now be
por
a
uno.
4v4 as Acrobat fell down. Team Tayson has to keep their composure. Looking at it, it will be
¿Y ese
KTU
flash qué?
that will be the sponge for the team.
No,
Knocking off
campanita,
one
la embarrada
as
sin
Wanyu
campanita.
goes
Si
down.
no era campanita.
VNC still stacking up these damage. KDU forced to go for the Gargoyle Lanchan, but it will not be enough on the hands up against 4 members from Vietnam Chosen.
That was an up and down kind of clash.
Yeah.
Like one goes down, another one goes down. Like where do we go?
It did feel like a roller coaster ride.
That's
It's not over.
Seal! It will be RGC with the Flash Smite, and VNC loses the objective.
Noctura asegurando el dragón.
Timing is key. A huge steal there coming from the RGC. Again, he may be going down on that one, but securing both objectives for their team will do good.
Yeah, that's huge there. It's definitely worth the
flash.
flash in and the death. So BNC, again, you know, Crayolas, I agree with you. That was a bit of a back and forth team fight. You get to see the execution of the Cataclysm being, you know, the net I don't know what you call that, basketball net, but into
¡Llévale! Por
Por
poquito.
Might be a kill though.
Oh, ahí nomás.
That was tricky. Equalizer.
Will come through as RGC.
Dale, buena, Johnny, buena. Sigue, sigue, sigue. Sigue que te tanquean, bro.
Boom.
Oh,
But RGC
por poquito.
Unbound will not be able to chase him down. And Carlo has to retreat. They cannot overstay their welcome on top side. But on the
Paliza
opposite
arriba y
side of the map, will be
paliza
Scorch
abajo.
that will be in danger. It is a
Listo.
3v1 situation. Has to force out the dominance for that extra sustain.
Chao,
But that will not
Renekton.
No
last
way.
forever. A score
Uf.
will be
No, bastante
defeated
tiempo.
by VNC.
Okay, start off with the top side first. So many things happen in the top side. If Good is able to land the wind on the Nocturne, it's gonna be the kill. But man, it's bot side now. It's an action-packed game.
I know, it is. It's just action left and right. But one thing I do want to, you know, commend both of these teams. The gold isn't exactly as bombastic as some of the games that we witnessed today. it's due to the fact that whenever VNC tries something off of the other side of the map, there's some sort of cross-map exchange happening where TS wants to make sure that, okay, I see you up top, I'm going to try something down below and perhaps try to get Acrobat on the board here, because remember, Waffenin is lining up in gold, has 3-1-3, already has 2 items in the bag, so this could potentially
He notado que cuando la pantalla la colocan en esa posición.
later on. We've seen the prowess of it,
Ya
especially if
vi.
the combos are correct with
Ya vi que
D2C
enfocan
into the Cataclysm. That's where it can be
al
a
campeón
bit
que está más
worse.
cerca.
Yeah, and we need to
Ya
make
vi.
some plays here for the side of BNC. I mean, they do have the momentum building up on them. So the thing is, they need to avoid mistakes because in the late game, they're gonna have some time here, but in the mid side, that's a good setup.
3-man knock-up coming in from KDU.
Buena.
And BNC will
Johnny,
try and attempt
la barredora.
to counter-attack with a fate seal in the backside.
Johnny,
but
mucho daño.
has to go back to his body.
Se
And
rumble.
BNC hoping for that retreat. They cannot fight this. TS has the upper hand with a 2-for-1 trade, but BNC will answer back into the backside. Good angle from the Vietnam chosen. Now Carlo, isolated, just has to meet the price of being up against 2. Remember, TG scored with a flash over the wall, was able to retreat scot free, and D2C able to kill. It's not done yet here in the mid side. It will be Swan Yu with a root on KDU, but a Gargle and Jet coming from Orn will save his life. The Tempered Fate connects onto Swan Yu. This will be an opening for Team Taeson.
Aguanta.
Into a kill, but
Aguanta, chico.
Another one.
Chosen. And Swan Yu will just run away.
Uy, no la mostré. Uy.
True shot barrage from Acrobat.
Borradito, Johnny.
I can't believe that we witnessed 2 ultimates back
Pero
to
bien,
back
Nana, ahí
just
está firme,
because of
vamos firme,
how
fue firme.
extended that fight was. I want to talk about that. It was
El equipo de los
TS
creadores.
with a tempered fate into a
No,
3-man knockoff
el
with
equipo
the
de creadores
Forge
de
God.
Vietnam
Beautiful
contra el
stuff,
equipo profesional
except that
de
TC
China.
played his Yone just so perfectly. There's able to dive back in and back out into the fight that he got a triple kill. Now TS getting this Baron uncontested for now.
BNC has vision though. They have the ward inside the Baron's pit. The call before God hoping for that delay. But you now have
Bueno, el entra haciendo tiempo. Jarvan también, pero no hay nadie que les aplique veneno. Mal entradas, pésimas entradas.
Triple kill for TS.
I like the prio coming from the Renekton, from RGC. He knows his job. Get to the backside. They know Yone was quite far away.
Turn around.
And it's an opportunity.
Kuzi in danger, but is able to convert. Acrobat goes down, and VNC is hoping for that.
Deniegan el varón.
Gente
se reinicia.
It's such a raid boss.
Buena.
He's too tanky. Cannot falter.
Creo que se está cogiendo confianza. Se está cogiendo confianza. Johnny, eso. Buena, ejecutado. Buena. Vámonos 1 por 1. Pero han perdido bastante ventaja. Sigma full AP y es real con su build básica, lo tradicional, como AP, como AD digo, perdón.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing about this is that VNC is so knowledgeable. They have a lot of engage tools from D2C, score as a single targeted stun. You have Swan Yu and Kuzi as well. So there's a lot of options for Vietnam chosen.
Yeah, and that could have been a ban already for the side of TS, but the way that Kuzi was able to compose himself and elongate of that clash denied the early Baron, but right now, they take the Baron right now.
Another start, BNC has information, hoping for that seal will not be able to go through here. The depth charge connects onto Carlo. Shine will not connect. RGC still safe for now, but D2C with a Cataclysm. D2C will be able to get the conversion onto RGC. Jungler is gone for Team Taeson. They will just capture a 3.
I mean, that's the right thing to do. They have the objective, so if they can really have a good position on that clash, no need to fight. But we have the dragon.
At least it's going to be a good, decent trade here.
Denegando jungla.
And that's the thing, right? We talked about
Coronando el dragón rápidamente.
the fact that they have so many team fight ultimates. Therefore, they have a better
Fizz
shot
está
at getting more
enfocado en la
control
torre.
in space
Regalaron
and
dragón.
threaten BNC
No
when
están
it
cero
comes to
interesados en el
Baron
dragón.
and
Pero
perhaps
bueno,
later
llevan su
on
torre.
the big objectives like the Elder Drake. Now, we get to see BNC. This is incredibly close. They're still in the lead when it comes to gold. But I feel like the pressure really holds true still onto Kuzi.
Ese
We're
John le
ideally getting the
lleva
fights that he needs to come back in and come back out.
sanguinaria,
And I feel like
cortacuras.
Acrobat is such a huge threat right now.
Y al
It
otro
doesn't
lado,
really say on the
cortacuras.
KDA, but once he's able
Pocos
to get a
llevan
combo
cortacuras.
down,
O sea,
it's immediately half HP.
I mean, right now,
no es que
I'm
pocos,
kind
sino
of
que del otro lado no,
understanding
no se curan
the pick
tanto.
of or mid,
Uh-huh.
because they have to
No
rely
creo que de pronto
heavily
puede
on
ser lo único
Acrobat in order to receive to get to that back
representa
lane
una
for
amenaza en
damage,
cuestión de
but
curaciones.
they are quite behind, but it's still anyone's game.
Definitely is, but for now, Team K-Song
Es real
looking
tirando
for
su ultime
Acro
como
to
si fuera
erase
la,
the goal deficit
la
that they
tercera de H.
received over the past 10 minutes. Currently, so far, it is Vietnam Chosen who has that upper edge on 3K gold.
I'm a little worried later on who is able to sort of destroy KDU. Remember, the foundation. If Waffenen does not get the space to poke, that means, well, despite the Ziggs being incredibly powerful later into the late game, if KDU keeps pressing these go buttons, there's no space for this Ziggs to poke at all.
And you have to consider as well that
Singer
RGC,
haciendo cosas de
what Team
Singer.
K-Song wants is those kickoffs into the back lane. But the thing is, they're just too
Buena,
tanky.
Johnny,
The
casi
only target will be Waining.
dos últimas que te he
The
visto
will be
mal,
counted,
pésimas,
no conversion, and VNC will
pésimas, pésimas.
Yeah, and
Es que
they don't
hay
want to take
bastante
a risk on
tanque,
that one as
3 tanques
it's still
y
pretty
dos
good
asesinos
position right now for the
fuertes.
side of VNC. They have to rely
Complicado.
on Suzy again. Gonna be
Pero
one of
donde
the
agarre,
important members of their team to get to the
les deja
back
hecho el
lane,
chispero.
trying to get Acrobat down.
at the moment, Vietnam Chosen
Lumber
looking
farmeando,
into the
está
bottom
chill.
side, putting a lot of pressure into the bottom lane as well, because soon enough, potentially
Super
might be
chill.
a pivot into the Elder Drake as one of the winning conditions.
You can really tell how much they want Acrobat so badly here. I don't think the Cataclysm is going
Ulti
to
para
be enough.
revelar
You have
objetivos.
the Arcane Shift,
Enemigos,
there's still a flash,
campeones,
there's a cleanse
enemigos.
even. Acrobat safety is almost ensured on one full-blown team fight. You have to bait out these spells before you can comfortably say, hey, I can catch this guy off guard.
Surely. And the thing you have to consider as well is that Acrobat kind of will be one of the winning conditions here, and
For
that
sure.
is playing towards that scaling with the Matamune,
Yeah,
with
he
the
needs to
Triforce, right? Since so far, Team K-Son is allowing Acrobat, is funneling Acrobat, considering that he is the most stacked champion at the moment with the most gold.
And right now they are denying the blue buff. So again, for the side of TS, it's like semi-bodyguard kind of comp. Because again, this is like a carry kind of team. So they really need Acrobat to do his job. Again, he has survivability, he has the dashes to go out of the Cataclysm, but they need to serve him up during the clash.
And the setup is all there. All of these champions dedicated to ensure a fight is engaged or his safety is ensured. Baron is going to be up real soon, or is actually up already. And we talked about the space. Does Whining have the space to poke things out? Or will they be overwhelmed by a lot of these ultimates that is able to just really zone him out of the fight?
Yeah, one thing about the lineup of VNC, they have all the resources for pokes and to show them out.
Yeah.
Six, the Hulk of the Nautilus, of course, correct on being running stone. The thing is they show them out. So they have to know when to react and go for the engage.
A lot of options. What is the selection though is the question for VNC. What will be the starter as Cruzy gain that extra knockup in the mid lane, and now has to pay the respect. 2 objectives will be up soon. So the next team fight will dictate how this story would go. Is it going to be a Team K-Son victory or VNC?
You know what's so interesting about this current game?
Yeah?
It's we're still anyone's game. It's
Yeah.
60K, 63K, 12 to 15.
Fácil, varoncito fácil.
It's the first one who blinks. We'll get the
Yo creo que
Safaraj has information.
Oh, wow.
Tempered Fate connects on to 3. 3 goes golden. Call of the Force God will not suffice as you have VNC already taking the Baron Dasher, but looking at the backside score, takes an angle onto RGC. This will be a 4v4. But now Cruising with a Fate Seal, playing it very defensively, goes back in with a Soul Unbound, and now looking at the side lanes, it's Harong with the root onto Whining, but it goes golden just by time. D2C with a flag and drag, going to retreat back to safety. But Vietnam Chosen has already gotten what
Qué buena, Johnny.
I mean, again, the performance
El
coming there from
Cusi.
Acrobat.
Qué buena, buena. Buena manera de jugar. Se arriesga. Se arriesga, arriesga para presionar y ganar el guito.
Well, check it out. The temperate phase just
Buena ulti.
the low. Wait, what?
Ahí fue, ahí fue.
Same here. It was really
Viene
effective
momento,
to stall this
tira
one
las
out.
explosiones
It
y
really sort of tried to make sure that they are able to get that attempt on board, but at the end of the day, it is going to be BNC that is able to secure this. Again, Kuzi may have farmed up a storm, but there's not a lot of space to use all that gold and all the items that he has acquired to just deal a lot of damage. But here comes a big fight again. Elder
Drake started up by Vietnam Chosen. No vision coming from Team Tayson. They have to face check on the Elder Drake, but so far it will be Team TS, which has to wait for RGC to come into the pit. You have Kuzi with a Fate Seal.
Johnny fastidiando, como siempre tratando de llevarse su real.
Already being casted out, knocks up onto all, looking to turn
Vuelve la bola, vuelve la bola.
But RGC
Se devuelve la bola.
Se
devuelve. Dragón, dragón. Ya. Carvan, bueno. Ya ejecutados. Fin, fin, fin, fin.
Man, what a clash.
Buena, Vietnam.
It was quite of a guessing game with the paranoia, but they knew they are ahead. They have the front. They have everything in their arsenal.
Representando la casa. Buena, Vietnam, buena, buena. Pero el diferencial fue Johnny. El MVP fue Johnny en esta partida.
The Vietnamese crowd for sure.
Arriesgaba, ya le metía el plus.
El
plus de velocidad.
Both teams are coming from a loss, and guess who is able to break away from that? It is Vietnam Chosen. They played that phenomenally. It was such a close game, though. It all boiled down to a game-ending objective.
La esperanza de Vietnam.
That was the Elder. I'm pretty sure they're very proud of that performance.
Vamos con nuestro siguiente encuentro.
The one you've been waiting for. Wild Round Smash is finally here. 8 incredible teams from 6 regions coming together on
Pero
one
primero vamos a
stage
presentar
for
el
one
evento.
wild showdown. One shot at glory, and you get to watch it all unfold live. This is Glory Gone Wild, and here's what you're in for. First up, we kick off with the team relay. Follow the wild and chaotic fun as community members from various regions, creators and pros face
Y
off in
2
this
equipos de
one-of-a-kind
jugadores pro
competition.
players.
All 8 teams
Por
will
eso
split
está
into 2 groups for a single
TS
round
es
robin.
equipo
Watch your
profesional
favorite
y
creators
TD
and
es
pros
equipo
clash
profesional,
right on your screen.
entre comillas.
Each group will see 2
Se hacen
one-on-one
rondas entre
showdowns,
todos
1
y van
AA
sumándose
ARAM brawl,
puntos.
and 1 epic 1 versus 1 duel to determine the finalist. The top team from each group moves on to the final showdown. Same old
Estos
format,
encuentros
but
creo que
way
son
more
3
intense.
puntos. Les dan 3
Up
puntos
next, the
por
5 versus 5 creator
partida.
track. It's time to show your region some love. 6 teams from different parts of the world go head to head in a fierce best of
Miento,
1
un
single
punto por
round
partida.
robin.
El que gane,
The
gana un
rules are
punto.
simple. The more you win, the higher you climb. At the end, the top 2 teams advance to a best of 3 grand finale for an epic showdown. But wait, there's more. Be ready to get even wilder with the pro track. 2 star-studded teams, WRLR and WRLB, will face off in a best of 5 showdown. No do-overs, no safety nets, just pure skill and peak Wild Rift gaming. And we keep going. Step into the show match.
Pasamos a la siguiente partida.
Brown não, porque tipo, não era bom contra o EZ e o Bardo também.
Então.
E a gente não viu o resto da comp do Brasil, pode vir mais um range dali. E o Brown fica meio fraco, né?
E pra mim o Brown ele é mais situacional, né? Ele cresce bastante quando você tem uma composição de low range, quando você tem alguns picks em que você precisa para ultimate. E como pelo menos as seleções que haviam sido feitas pelo time do Brasil ainda não demonstravam isso, ficou meio esquisito ele ser escolhido muito cedo. Então, de fato, eu acho que é muito mais por esse conforto mesmo.
Cara, eu tô pensando aqui, não cabe um Garen no mid e um Rumble no topper pra gente, não?
E o Chumas gosta desse Garen.
É, então, mas eu tô pensando, o Garen não vai arrebentar a Kali no mid, não?
Amassa. Mas por enquanto eles estão vindo estudados, né? Baniram 4 pick ali que poderia ser o mid do Chumas. Pode vir um ban Garen agora. Quem sabe?
Não.
Quem sabe?
Não, é, Bunny e o Ryze. O Ryze é um, assim, também estão estudados, porque o Ryze do Chumas é quente também.
Não, é legal, de fato, mas eu acho que um Garenzinho aqui funciona muito bem, até porque, assim, você tem a Kali, você tem Zaya também, que é uma campeã que tem um curto alcance, e aí, obviamente, né, a puxada das penas é legal pra você fazer aquele controle de terreno, porque o Garen é um campeão que ele vai andar reto, mas não vem um set aqui que também é legal.
Isso,
também é legal.
Também tá legal. Pra mim, eu gosto disso daqui porque deixa o set flex. A gente sabe que pode vir pro Chumas, ele pode aprontar, ele vai trazer essa coisa diferente. Mas tem mais a cara do Pacheco. O Pacheco é bem a cara do Pacheco. Ele gosta desses brutamontes, né?
Aí, esse famoso tonhão do top. eles gostam.
Tonhão é uma boa definição. E a rapaziada os turcos vieram de Shen, cara. Interessante também. Eles estão desesperados, né? Eles querem proteção dos 18 bonecos de proteção no time.
Proteger bastante o AD Carry aí. Mas assim, é uma Zaya que ela já tem um autopil, digamos assim, né? Com seu ultimate. Então, meio estranho, ainda mais pra jogar contra o set. Eu acho que se for de fato isso, vai ficar legal pro set, né? E até mesmo porque o Shen fazendo tanque e o set conseguindo ultar e chegar na backline com esse Shen, fica legal. Então tá aí, a gente já fechou a nossa seleção.
Tá bueno.
Foi Lilia, né?
Liliazinha mid contra a Kali é legal também, né?
E Brown, como sempre, com su Sacha.
Eu acho que, tipo,
Vuelven a sacar campanita.
Boa, tem vários bonecos bons contra a Kali ali. Se ela aparecer, o set pode ultar ela.
Campanita
revela ela
real.
na fumaça. Então a gente tá bem nessa composição aqui. Só que a gente tem um early game muito forte.
Lilia ao meio.
E o late game dos caras tá na Kali ali, né? Já dá uma
não precisa, esse early mid nosso tem que ser muito forte. Claro, o nosso late game eu sinto que é honesto também. Só não é tão forte quanto o dos caras,
né? Tipo, a gente tem uma Lilia que escala muito também, mas eu acho que o dos caras tá um pouco exagerado ali com aqueles 3 bonecos ali.
Cara, e ainda tem o Shen, né? Que por mais que ele não vai escalar pra dano, ele vai escalar pra vida, vai ser muito difícil descer a vida do Shen. Shen é um boneco parrudaço. O ponto positivo é que o Shen gosta de buildar a vida. E o Set pega essa vida e joga nos amigos assim, ó. Toma!
E a Lilia também, né? A Lilia, ela consegue trabalhar muito bem com dano em vida, em porcentagem de vida. Então, confiante, e aí tá aí, ó. A gente já tem essas imagens pra gente começar esse nosso primeiro jogo do Brasil.
É isso, rapaziada. A gente vai pra dentro do Rift em breve. Eu tô de olho no Pilo ali, passando as informações já meio que falando sobre o matchup do bot com o Tios, os dois já se alinhando e nessa expectativa pro primeiro jogo do Brasil, pra nossa estreia no Wild Rounds Smash. Tenho certeza que vai ser um grande dia pro Brasil e vambora. E vambora, vamos começar os trabalhos.
E é MD1, temos que começar já.
Boa.
Temos que começar ganhando.
Tá pegada, né?
Pegado. Provavelmente os 2 melhores nomes de time do campeonato já de primeira, assim.
É isso daí, rapaziada. E agora sim, hein? Turkish Delights contra Wild Capivaras. Tá na sua tela. Vambora pro jogo.
Vambora. Primeiro jogo do time brasileiro aqui no Vietnã, no Wild Rounds Smash. Nosso time brasileiro está aqui, ó, do lado vermelho. E a gente já tá vendo essas primeiras trocas acontecendo.
Tá lá, então, primeiras movimentações sendo devidamente executadas. A rapaziada... Os turcos deixaram bastante sentinelas fundo no nosso território ali.
Tá entrando pra botar agora também.
É um late invade por parte do... Nossa, roubou legal! Roubo do Tios e do Pilo. Agora tem que sair, o Paciência tá com a vida baixa. A equipe do Capivara vem pra cima. Vamos! First Blood pro Brasil!
O Zin quer vir, só que o time brasileiro não quer parar. O Tios vai tentar sair dali. Fica com o abate que fica nas mãos do Schumann. Só que na sequência, o Tios acaba caindo. As brigas não param chegaram por aqui, já tivemos 3 abaixo pro time brasileiro.
Buena,
o Emerald
Brasil.
vem pra mais uma, vem pra bater o grid, vem pra conseguir a primeira dele aqui no campeonato.
É 4-1
Buena,
pro
buena.
time brasileiro. Começamos no esquema, começamos muito bem nesse invade do Tios e do Pilo. A cobrança foi feita e aí no fim das contas,
Buena,
abate
Brasil.
pro Pilo, pro Tios, pro Chumas e pro Emerald. Um abate pra cada um. Tá pago. Tá show de bola, bom começo pro Brasil.
E a gente já
Brasil.
tinha pressão nas 3 lanes, agora a gente vai ter mais ainda, que já começamos, né, com o que a comp proporcionava, que era early game muito forte, já invadiram, a bot lane invadiu sozinha, pô. O Lee Sin tava do outro lado e a bot lane invadiu, acabou com o jogo da Shyvana. E vamos pra cima, que é Brasil.
Muito bom esse invade, um invade atrasado, fazendo proveito da pressão que eles tinham no bot, que a gente estava falando, que ia ter a pressão na parte inferior do mapa, e o Pilo, junto com o Tios, com certeza eles já estavam conversando sobre isso.
Daí,
era isso que eles estavam conversando naquele momento.
É isso daí, eles sabiam que o time turco gosta de fazer essa invasão para colocar informação e aproveitando essas pressões que a gente estava tendo em várias rotas, o invade foi muito bem executado, eles conseguiram essas eliminações 4-1 e ó, observa que a gente já tá dominando o bot. Por quê? Lembrando que a Shyvana gosta de dragões, então a gente dominar esse objetivo e tirar de fato dela vai ser importante pro time
E
brasileiro.
o Chumas vem descendo também, o Emerald jogando dentro da selva inimiga, as nossas capivaras estão jogando, vindo pra cima de fato, fazendo cerco aqui na parte de baixo, o Emerald entrou! E mais um abate sai pro Brasil!
Aqui a gente vai passar o carreto, hein, Colosso?
O carro tá sendo passado?
Vai passar.
Ligou o carrinho na garagem já tá dando ignição, vambora!
Vambora, eu tô calma aqui, eu tô com o pés no chão, a gente tá 5-1, tá legal, a gente precisa aproveitar esse ritmo para garantir o snowball. Eu acho que a gente tá muito bem. São kills que estão ficando nas mãos dos principais jogadores da nossa composição. O Emerald conseguiu um bom dive agora. Então chega na ultimate, bicuda, kill pra ele. São 2 abates já nas mãos do Lee Sin. Começamos bem demais.
Buena, Brasil. Buena.
Já botamos aí, pô, 2k de vantagem cedo na partida. 3 minutos a gente tá fazendo esse ritmo. O Pilo vai chegando aqui na parte de baixo. Tomou muito dano. Olha o Pacheco fazendo essa jogada.
Pau! Latigaço!
Isso é uma seleção.
Arrasei do Tios. Mais um abate e a rotação. A rotação
Pau!
tá acontecendo.
E el Real
Já tô me
derritiendo esa
iludindo,
torre.
já tô pensando na final, meu Deus. Eles estão me deixando muito esperançoso.
Ó, o Emerald tá pra cima.
Vem agora o Vinheiro, utiliza a fissura glacial pra tentar zonear a galera da White Capivaras. Vem o soninho também por parte do Chumas e lá em cima tá rolando briga. O Paciência tá indo pra cima, o Chumas tá correndo de um lado pro outro, mas não consegue evitar a eliminação. Segundo do time turco, que disputa agora aqui na partida.
Ah, eu achei que eu achei que o Chumas ia conseguir trazer, mas ele tinha usado o ultimate na fight anterior. Tinha posto todo mundo pra dormir. E faltou esse ultimate para utilizar na entrada do Pacienza, que se ele dorme ali é caixa, não tinha pra onde ir.
É real e campanitas.
O que preocupa é essa calha aí, né? Esse boneco eu não gosto muito dele, não, é muito diferente, velho. Fica invisível, dá 10.
Aí, ó. Toma aí a sua Kali, ó. Morreu. Toma aí a cotovelada na cabeça da Kali. O Emerald resolve.
Pronto, terceira kill já do nosso capitão do Emerald aqui na nossa partida. Pacheco tá bem também, a gente tá vendo que ele tem uma boa diferença de ouro em relação ao Baris e ele vai pra cima, já tira bastante vida desse Shen e já vai precisar fazer o seu recuo. O Chumas precisa ficar ligado aqui no top.
É, aqui na parte de cima ele vai bater, vai fazer esse controle de side juntamente com a Zaya, né? Contra a Zaya. E de olho nos objetivos, porque eles vão surgir muito em breve. E aí a gente começa essa movimentação pro dragão. O time brasileiro vem acelerando bastante, o Emerald trabalhando na limpa da onda de minions, 35 segundos no relógio para começarem os objetivos e o Brasil tá lá na parte de cima do mapa. É, primeira torre pro Brasil, pô.
Estamos com 4 mil de ouro de vantagem com essa primeira torre, vai aumentar. E é nos carries que a gente precisa, né? No EZ, no Lee Sin.
Legal.
E ele vai continuar acelerando o game, porque a gente ainda sempre... Como a gente é brasileiro, a gente sempre pensa, mano, e se der errado, né? Mas não vai.
Pra mim agora a rotação para a parte de baixo do mapa, para não deixar essa Shyvana pegar o primeiro dragão.
Eu acho que a gente ainda vai focar no arauto para tentar abrir o mid, porque é bem importante isso.
É importante, é legal também,
porque a Shyvana, no Wide Rift é diferente do PC, né? Aqui, qualquer um dos dois objetivos que ela pega, ela ganha stack igual.
Legal.
Então, meio que não importa muito. Qualquer um dos dois, pra ela, dá bom do mesmo jeito.
E é difícil você, no fim das contas, controlar os dois lados do mapa, né?
Difícil.
E os turcos vieram, o Bambi pulou pra cima do Tios, que já se realocou, foi pra longe, usou o portal Pilo e saiu da jogada. O Chumas vai botando a rapaziada pra dormir, passa o ultimate no barco, e o Bares vai sendo focado. Dois dormiram ali, a rapaziada acabou não pegando, e a equipe das Capivaras, os nossos brasileiros, botam os turcos pra correr.
Gastamos 3 ultimates aqui, só que a gente não conseguiu as eliminações. Pelo menos garantimos a pressão suficiente pra dominar esse topside e já pra iniciar esse arauto, a orquestra que vai ficar com o Brasil.
O ponto positivo é que tanto o Shen quanto a Shyvana usaram o ultimate deles também, né, nessa jogada.
Sem ult não faz nada.
É um boneco inútil sem ult, né?
A gente vai pegar o dragão também. Eu acho que eles não querem o dragão. O dragão, né?
Não vai?
Não vai não? O dragão não. Estamos roubando a jungle ali. O Emerok tá vendo aquele jogar pra aquele...
Não regala nada, todos estão na linha.
Talvez ele resete vai Drake, ou ele vai fazer a red side dele que tá outro. Eu acho que vai Drake.
Mas de qualquer forma, a Shyvana tá lá pro topside. Então, o Bambi não fez essa menção de vir dominar o dragão. Então pode ser que a gente fique sim com esses 2 primeiros objetivos e já atrase ainda mais a vida da Shyvana, que é agora que fecha a sua força da Trindade.
Eu gostei muito da primeira opção do time brasileiro, enquanto o arauto tá sendo solto aqui no mid. E a orquestra derruba a primeira torre. Precisa da serpente como o primeiro item pro Emerok. Vai acabar com a proposta do Shen nesse time.
É muito bom. E olha a rotação rápida do brasileiro.
Brasil es muy rápido. Trabajan mucho en grupo. Dejan uno y trabajan 4. 4-1, 4-1. Y rotaciones rápidas. La Shyvana ya quedó fuera. Fuera. No, papá. Buena Brasil, buena. Juegan en grupito.
E o Creed agora vai ser focado. A jogada aqui na frente é flash, é kill do nosso EZ.
O Tios não para, é flash, translocação e disparo. Com mais um abate pro Brasil.
Mostrando que tem que respeitarnos.
Está devidamente fora da garagem. Ele
Latam
está sendo passado em cima dos turcos. Feito também o dragão. E agora são 10.000 de vantagem para os brasileiros.
A um lado, nos invita a eventos, e a los mundiales de Warriors.
2.700 de ouro de vantagem. Ele tem. CZ não pode falar que ele não tem.
E esse flashzinho agora, né? Que é pra dar com a manopla na cabeça. Ele veio melee. Ele veio melee pra garantir essa kill. Já fechou o segundo item também. Tá legal. Olha a diferença entre os atiradores, meu amigo. Quase 8.000 pro Tios agora e 5.300 só pro Creed.
E a equipe brasileira vai rodando muito mapa. O Pilo já tá aqui na parte de cima. Ele usou o ultimate.
Em bloque,
infelizmente
sempre
não
3.
achou paciência.
Sempre bloque 3.
Mas tudo bem.
Com
tá
clã medio e suporte van los 3. Aí para abajo.
Aí que acertou. Mas é um Shen, né?
Acertou tem que ir, né? Não, Emerald. Acertou tem que ir.
Não, Lissíndrome não.
Síndrome hoje.
Desculpa. Tô muito empolgado.
Calma. Você já tá pedindo, já está se perguntando qual será a skin do Mundial quando os brasileiros ganharem.
3-1-1.
Tô nessa aí. Pensei nisso agorinha, Colas.
Calma. Calma que tem muito jogo pela frente, tem muitas partidas ainda. Passa aqui a barragem incendiária do Tios. O jogo vai dar aquela... A Mornada não tem objetivo no mapa. A gente também levou toda a linha de T1. E aí a tendência é o jogo dar uma desacelerada. Dito isso, é exatamente o que o Brasil não pode deixar acontecer.
De fato, a gente precisa continuar indo pra frente. Tem a ultimate maravilhosa do Pilo agora. Eles colocaram pra dormir. Foram dois jogadores. O Chumas consegue encaixar o ultimate, mas não tem follow-up. Só que a gente ganha um espaço legal nesse topside. Lembrando que daqui a pouco tem barão no jogo. E pode ser aquele barão pra gente chegar nas torres de base dos turcos.
E vai tomando rotação, vai tomando o macro dos brasileiros. Porque a gente não quer saber de um jogo desacelerado, de deixar a brincadeira esfriar, não. Permanecemos levando as torres, já é T2 da parte de cima do mapa devidamente derrubada, rotação muito bem executada, tranquila. Pacheco está chegando aqui para defender a parte de baixo do mapa, já vai ter o dragão disponível. O Barão não é necessariamente uma ameaça também. pros turcos, né? Se eles forem pra lá, eles perdem o resto do mapa inteiro.
Acho que vai ser nosso Insta, o Barão, hein? Ele já... Mas só que o turco que tá dominando a visão lá.
Então, o nosso time tá aqui pra baixo,
O nosso time, eu tô vendo que tá muito mais preocupado em setar as waves já pra bater nas torres. Então, assim, se a galera da Turquia, sem pressão de mapa, for pra fazer o Barão, eles vão pegar tudo.
Pegaram a Zaya?
Pegaram a Zaya aqui no meio do caminho, o atordoamento não colou, o Grid pula pela parede, mais um abraço!
É Baron, é Baron.
E agora sim, agora é Baron, vantagem numérica, mas essa sacola gigantesca de ouro que a gente tem de vantagem, o Baron vai ser do Brasil.
O Bardo do Bilo tá jogando. Todo mundo do nosso time tá jogando muito, né? Mas quem tá mais presente ali é a bot lane e o Emerok, que estão, mano, acelerando muito o jogo. E não param, né? Sem parar. Faz play top, faz play mid, faz play bot, leva a torre, já emenda num Baron, num kill na Zaya e tá absurdo.
Um ritmo muito.
And that's the protection that Acrobat can need in them team fights.
I mean, if you are Acrobat, you just need a kitten to meow for you on Discord, man. And at that point, you might as well be able to win. Or at least that is the confidence that Team Tayson is walking in with for our first best of one. But over on Turkish Delights, a few picks went their way. Vi, very standard jungler, being able to provide that guaranteed single target lockdown, which is very easy combo for the Ziggs to follow up on with his full burst combo. But the Mordekaiser, that is one of the champions that you were alluding to that could be picked up here today.
I think the interesting part about Turkish Delight is they pick the Ziggs, which I feel like is going to be in the duo lane with Creed. Whether that goes in the mid lane or bot lane, we'll have to wait and see. And normally when you have that AP duo lane where you're not playing a marksman, you normally like to play these AD bruisers instead, like the Riven, like the Aatrox, like the Ambessa that we just spoke about, for example. But now they're going for this double AP with the Ziggs and the Mordekaiser. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult because some of the magic resist items that you can buy in this game in Wild Rift, like the more Malmortius, for example, the Wit's End for the Kaiser, is going to be so powerful.
Curious to see that Turkish Delights are branding out more tanks on the side of Team Tayson. It alludes to me that they are suspecting Carlo is trying to pick a tank in the top lane for himself. Normally you mentioned that you would mostly see that archetype in the support role these days and allowing the Baron laner to have more of a strong bruiser or split pusher, but we already mentioned before in yesterday's stream that while Poppy is technically a tank, has enough burst damage to kind of scrap with some of those melee bruisers. Meanwhile, on Team Tayson's side, they are looking at support options as well between the Senna and the Bard bands, and the Rakan is the pick of choice for Zine.
Yep. Very big playmaking support, Zine. He loves the Rakan. He loves to roam around, go for these playmaking styles. And I think it's really going to be about the synergy that Creed and Bambi have. It's going to be really important to see whether Zine, can be the one to follow Bambi around. Of course, Bambi not playing a more carry style. It's more of a supporter style with Vi, but as you mentioned already, Rafa, sometimes in Wild Rift, you just go for full damage, which is what Vi can definitely go for. On the other side, we have Team Tayson taking the Ambessa, which is most likely going to be in one of the sides, and Singed.
Yeah!
The last
is this
pick.
the Singed mid potentially, Stuart? I remember Singed mid back in the day when we were casting in. And this is just an evolution, and one of the things that you had highlighted as a potential coming to light for the meta today, the fact that you just send your dual lane mid lane, and then on both of your side lanes, you send strong, decent bruisers. Singed fits that archetype.
Exactly that. So you're on one side you have Singed and Ambessa, no mages there. On the other side you have the Yone and the Mordekaiser. So it's all really about the side lanes and what pressure that you can give in the side lanes to make sure that you can push into either side of the map. And then what will happen is on the bot side you'll see it's going to be the Ziggs and Rakan against Kaiser Yuumi. So the push out potential is going to be there for the Ziggs. He's going to be able to push out and potentially allow Zine and allow the Rakan to roam around. But a very exciting draft to see how things are going to be going here in the first day.
We'll see how much leaks come through on today's best of one. I'm so excited. Team Tayson and Turkish Delights have rounded up their final compositions, and based on what we got locked in, I would have to say that, Stuart, that you were pretty on the money with where or what to expect. But there are definitely a couple of curveballs. But here we go, y'all. It is time to get into Wild Rift for our first match between Team Tayson from South Korea and Turkish Delights from Turkey.
Oh, this is where the fun begins, Rafa. I'm really excited for this. Best of ones. Every team is going to be playing against each other today. And that's the most exciting thing, is we get to see so many different players come together, so many different play styles, so many different strategies that come together. And that's really where the creativity is going to come in for these teams. Again, for Turkish Delight, they come in with more of the wave clear option, more of the safer picks, like the Ziggs, for example. And then you have Zine and Bambi on these playmaking champions like the Rakan, like the Vi. And then it's all going to be an Acrobat for Team Tayson. I think we'll have to keep an eye on him throughout the day for Team Tayson to see if Acrobat can step up and perform and kind of be the carry for his team.
Yeah, one of the things that still makes me smile is seeing how some of the overall compositional setups for these teams isn't that much different than when we last saw some international competition over in 2022. And the idea is that you have your strongest backliner, usually one, and then a bunch of bruisers, a bunch of tanks, all trying to protect it in a fortress-style setup here. So it means that 5-on-5s are going to be quite explosive and really come down to who can better protect their king in the middle of that.
Who can protect their carry, who can be the ones to step up to the play in the end for today. As we see, it's a bit of an exchange at the moment in the mid lane. You've seen that Singed in the mid lane can be a bit of a nuisance. Going to be coming up against the Yone. No surprises too far. I mean, I guess the big surprise is that the bot lane is actually going down to the bot lane and is not going to the mid lane.
Okay.
So again, you might see this a little bit. Again, I think it's kind of back and forth to figure out what these teams kind of want to go for, where their bot lane kind of relies in the end. Acrobat taken a little bit low early on. This is a 4 versus 4 in this bot side.
Bit of a tussle already in the bottom river. Just trying to fight for control of the crab. KDU was looking for the fling and gets it. The flash comes through a little too late. Paciencia goes down for first blood. South Korea is the first one to strike in our best of one.
Yeah, incredible play there. And you get the kill onto Acrobat. This is exactly what we were talking about. You can feed the Acrobat. You can allow him to get ahead early on. And sometimes this Kai'Sa can struggle a little bit in the early stages. But if she can get a little bit of gold, if she can get that first item, get the evolved to start things rolling, then it's going to allow her to carry a little bit later on. You can see there's even an invade happening as well. Flash forward from the Kai'Sa. Creed goes down. 2 kills for Acrobat, and that is not what Turkish Delight wanted early on.
I mean, listen, if I'm Kai'Sa and I see a free kill on my screen, I want that gold every single day. But the counterplay from Zine's Rakan finds that Gren entrance and gets one back for Turkish Delights as the action continues. Bambi hits level 5, goes for the cease and desist, gets the shutdown onto Acrobat's Kai'Sa, but at the cost of his own life.
And it seems like the action doesn't really stop, to be fair. We thought all the action was going to come into play for the AAA ramp, but the action is carrying on to the 5v5 Rift at the same time with so much fighting happening. And that all was over a Skull Crab as well. Everyone was just fighting over Skull Crab, 4 versus 4.
Crabs are serious business here in Wild Rifts, dude. I'll have you know. If I don't get it as a jungler, yes, I'm ready to FF if I don't get my crab. I'm just saying that. It's Turkish Delights able to somewhat equalize the gold. A lot of their advantage is on Bambi's Vi, which doesn't surprise us knowing how Turkish Delights want to pivot their strength in this composition.
Picking up the Trinity Force first for Bambi, just going to be clearing through the jungle for now. A few pings going down to the bottom side just to make sure that they are aware that there is a potential of a dive happening down here. But as I mentioned already, great start for Acrobat. Does actually decide to go for boots first, so he's not rushing that first item to try and get that evolved first ability to start things off. Talk about the differences between, you know, Wild Rift and PC. And Wild Rift, you just need to complete items for Kai'Sa to get her evolves, and it makes it simpler, a lot more easier to understand, and it means that it gets a pretty good start around here to see, you know, if Acrobat can kind of start to, you know, carry on going.
Yeah. No, I get you. One of the things I wanted to point out for any of our viewers here, if you are new to Wild Rift, that boot choice picked up by the Nocturne over on Team Tayson. That is a boot choice that gives you extra armor penetration. So this really signifies that this Nocturne is going for the...
Dá pra dar. O Shuma que é o problema, né?
O Shuma está com Catalyst, mas já fechou o Seraph ali, já tá devidamente destacado, então quero ver se esse Catalyst ele vai deixar isso agora pro resto do jogo, porque meio que já passou o ponto de fazer o bastão das eras. Estamos quase em 10 minutos de jogo.
Verdade.
Aí já deu aquela azedada nesse quesito, né? Vai precisar de muito mais tempo o time brasileiro nesse quesito em especial. E ó, a galera da Warlock continua mantendo essa pressão, principalmente pro topside. Vamos ver se eles vão pra luta.
Aguantando. Aqui, o Tiga ganha esse escudo gigantesco. Caiu o Calentador no meio do brasileiro.
Campanita e sua campanota.
Sai com flash o Tiga. Ativando a vassoura, vai fazendo zona de 4 jogadores. Meu amigo, o que o Long tá fazendo? Double kill e ele não morre. A perseguição permanece, mas a cobrança vem. O Tios garante a resposta pro time brasileiro, mas ficou pouca resposta.
Cara, como o Long saiu vivo disso, Orochi? O cara se meteu no meio de todo mundo, garantiu uma kill e foi embora.
No outro game a gente tinha 4
ele voltou! Nossa. Ele voltou! E vai garantir mais 2 abates. O carro está sendo passado. Eu falei que esse maluco era diferenciado e a gente tá vendo porque Long 8/0.
Ele tá mostrando que ele foi campeão mundial à toa, né?
Não é
à toa que ele foi campeão mundial, né? Pô, ele tá muito forte agora, ele saiu vivo ali, porque a gente não tem nenhum corta-shield ainda. No outro game a gente tinha muito cedo, porque tava de Lee Sin, mas dessa vez baniram. Não tem como fazer corta-shield cedo pra nenhum boneco ali. E o jogo agora é só modo tartaruga,
cara,
né?
O problema... Olha só como é que ele é diferenciado. 8/0, ele tem 12 mil de ouro. Fora ele, o jogo tá honesto pra todo mundo.
Se não fosse ele aí, a gente sonharia um pouquinho mais, né? O jogo ainda não acabou, obviamente. O time chinês ainda pode cometer deslizes. A gente ainda tem a questão do... Beleza, veio agora finalmente aí a presa da serpente para as mãos do Emerok como o seu segundo item. E agora, ó, tá chegando aí mais objetivos neutros. Barão já tá vivo, dragão de fogo nascendo agora. E a gente vai querer vir pro contato, né?
Mas eu não sei se a gente quer isso daqui não. Mas pescamos o ultimate do Bardo, tá pago?
Tá bom. O problema é o Long, né? Ele já tá por aqui, tá com a barra de fúria completamente cheia, tá indo pra cima do Chumas, que já precisa gastar sua ultimate. O Pilo também, né? Gastou flash, na verdade. Quem gastou ultimate foi o Pilo, o Tios passa a barragem incendiária e tá aí. Eles fazem toda essa pressão, todo esse zone, vão garantir o dragão, enquanto o time brasileiro vai tentando se segurar aqui atrás.
Cara, e a Shyvana de virtude radiante, mais dança da morte, esse boneco... É por isso que ele não morre.
Falta um porta-cura aqui agora. Esse cara não vai morrer, não. A gente só tem Ignite do Pilo.
Tem engage, hein?
Pegamos agora. O Pilo conseguiu um taunting. Pelo menos 4 jogadores conseguiram abater o Lúcio. O Ion já foi o primeiro a cair. O Emerok tá ali sambando de um lado pro outro, mas já foi eliminado também. Vão pegar o Pacheco. Chegou a Shyvana! E o time da Warlock vai conseguindo 3 eliminações pra cima do Brasil.
Tá muito difícil segurar essa Shyvana, precisa desse corta-cura, mas não sei se a gente vai ter tempo de fazê-lo. Virtude radiante, dança da morte, força da trindade. E olha aí, ó, é no 2 contra 1 que ele vem, a vida dele nem desce. Ele vai pra baixo da base. Tem 2 torres fazendo. Não, isso é injusto, Long. Vai embora, pô.
Não tinha 3 torres ali batendo nele, não?
Tinha.
Tá permitido isso, gente?
Pode isso no jogo?
Não é bug? Pode isso no jogo? Pode puxar um pause agora? Pedir um remake? Que isso, cara? Que absurdo que ele vem fazendo agora. Doutrinando de fato aqui, mostrando porque é uma lenda do Wild Rift. E tá aí, 10/0/3. Uma diferença muito grande em ouro agora, né? Já passando aí dos 11 mil de vantagem. E a maior parte dessa vantagem tá justamente entre os caçadores.
Ele tá com 15k de ouro,
cara, ele tá quase full build, cara.
Ele tá com 15k de ouro, cara.
Que isso, mano. Pior que, tipo assim, se o celular dele ele buga, ele não consegue mais jogar.
Aí tem jogo.
Vamos solicitar então, né? Vamos torcer. Colossus, é a hora de você começar a rezar agora, que nem ontem. Vambora.
E o Rumble veio com aquela build que você falou mesmo, tá nem aí pra que não tenha
ele não se preocupa, é capa de fogo e um abraço.
Pô, mas se eu tenho uma Shyvana com 15k de gold...
Qualquer coisa que ele fizer ali, né?
Verdade, ele pode estar sem item que não faz diferença.
Mas se ele não quiser jogar mais também, não vai fazer diferença.
Expurgo soltado, utilizado pelo Yu aqui na parte de baixo. O Jig vem chegando na parte central. O Galil
Deu engage lá
na parte de cima. Eles querem tentar a sorte em cima da Shyvana, hein? Eles vêm pra cima da Shyvana. Tomou o taunt, mas o dano é muito forte. Volta aí, a Shyvana não perde vida. O Long continua. Vai passando. É double, é triple, é quadra. Ele vem pra fechar a conta. Que domínio excepcional. O time chinês vem pra fechar a partida. Vem pra finalizar esse jogo num baile do Long.
E reporta o Yop que ele conseguiu tirar esse penta do Long. Queria fechar com chave de ouro. Tá aí vitória do time chinês. Não deu para os brasileirinhos. E meu amigo Orochi...
Vai ter revanche lá, Glos. Na final vai ter revanche, vai ter revanche.
Legal.
Ai, agora você falou certo.
Gostei da sua conduta, do seu modo de pensar, Orochi. Gostei. Gostei, a gente sabia, né, Lágolas? A gente sabia que era um matchup difícil, que os chineses eram talvez o time... Eram não, são o time mais forte aqui, né? Então foi honesto, foi bem jogado, mas dessa vez não deu. Essa Shyvana aí só atravessou, gente.
É, exatamente. E aí a gente tá vendo já o Aspira vindo cumprimentar todo mundo aqui, todos os jogadores. E é não deixar essa derrota nos abalar, né? A verdade é essa. A gente fez um ótimo primeiro jogo. A gente já sabia que esse jogo ia ser muito complicado, né? A gente tá falando ao longo de toda a transmissão. São os caras que têm ex-jogadores profissionais, né? São 3 ex-jogadores. A gente tem o Long, como estamos falando, é o grande cara do nome dessa modalidade, que é o Wild Rift. E ele mostrou, né, toda a sua expertise jogando com essa Shyvana. Não deu muitas chances pro time brasileiro, só que a gente ainda tem 3 jogos pela frente. A nossa caminhada ainda não acabou. E os outros jogos eu vejo com muito mais equilíbrio, muito mais possível da gente.
Demek ki
Tiga'nın
Tiga
sevdiği bir şampiyon stili, dövüşçü, tank eriten. O Zillion. Bizde Zillion oynayan var mı?
Zeyan oynuyordu. Bir de Zillion şu anda gerçekten iyi bir karakter.
Oo.
İş yapan bir karakter.
Bard'ı saklamak çok akıllıca bu arada.
İlk seçimden Bard aldılar daha önce ve bunu az önce gördük. Karşısında oynaması dert bir karakter. Özellikle iyi bardlar çok büyük sıkıntılar yaratabiliyorlar bence.
Ya karşıdaysa çok sinir bozucu olabilir. Yasuo'ya saklamasına geldi. Hani rakibin şu an konforlu şampiyonlarını hem de öncelik alıp baş belası olabilecek şampiyonlarını ortadan kaldırdık. Bu arada Camille açık şu an.
Ben Shyvana banlar mıydım diye düşünüyorum. Çünkü biz sence Shyvana'yı yeterince darlayabilir miyiz?
O tamamen koridorlardan alınabilecek öncelikli seçimlere bakıyor açıkçası.
Evet ya, Shyvana biraz korkutuyor. Eğer şu anda biz öncelik alabilecek karakterler almazsak bence direkt Shyvana kitleyeceklerdir. Acaba biz onun öncesinde Shyvana alır mıyız yoksa Vi'ya mı gideriz ilk maç yaptığımız gibi? Çünkü Vi'la aslında
çok iyi çalıştırmıştı.
aktif bir oyun oynayabiliriz. Barışçı'dan burada Mor da geldi. İlk maç hiç fena oynamadı. Gwen'e karşı da okey bir tercih. Daha iyi tercihler var ama daha oynadığı, bildiği, rahat olduğu pick yüksek ihtimalle Mordekaiser'dır diye tahmin ediyorum.
Gwen eğer üst koridorsa ben Gwen'e karşı Kyle seçimini çok seviyorum. Ama şu an durumu nasıl emin değilim. Gwen ormana mı gidiyor?
İlk biz Akali'yi aldık ve karşısı Ornn ve Poppy ile
Kullanmışlar, Poppy'yi üst koridora göndermişler. Yani bu kadar esnek olması maç başladı ve durdu mu?
Biz konuşmaya devam edelim.
Bence de geldi. Gwen orta koridora gitmiş. Normalde Akali sever bu eşleşmeyi. Ben Ornn'u orta koridora, Gwen'i üst koridora, Poppy'yi de desteğe göndereceklerini düşündüm. Ama bayağı bir esnetiyorlar yani şampiyonları.
Şöyle, bence çok doğru bir hamle olmamış. Çünkü Poppy aşağıda Galio'yu durdururdu.
Kesinlikle.
Shyvana bir baskına geldiği zaman ultisini durdururdu. Ve bence yani aslında diyecektim ki Morde Poppy'ye karşı daha rahat eder diyecektim. Asla yürüyordu Poppy.
Aslında iyi de oldu. Barışçı orada çok soğukkanlı davrandı. Sıçrasını kullanmadı. Poppy'nin sıçrasının olmadığını biliyoruz. Bu bizim için herhangi bir galibiyet koşulu olabilir. Bu arada az önce alt koridorda üstünlüğümüz minyonumuz vardı ama Bambi'ye şu an ormanda baskın atılıyor. Ve buraya
şeyler
bence
oluyor orada şu an.
bir şeyler oluyor. Gelecektir kısa sürede diye düşünüyorum. Hani skor çıkmamış.
Hiçbir şey olmamış.
Gayet
Güzel.
iyi.
Güzel.
Ama az
Bizim için
önce
iyi.
gördüm hani alt koridorda bir üstünlüğü vardı temsilcilerimizin ama hem işte yengeci kaybetmesi. Bu arada Tiga burada Barışçı'yı koridordan adeta dışarı savurdu ve Barışçı'ya şu an birazcık bir tane
Bambi
minyon
yardıma geldi.
kaybedildi.
Bambi yardıma geldiği için minyonları alabiliyor şu an Barışçı. Altında küçük bir geriye düşme durumu var ama hiçbir önemi yok.
106 kapanıyor zaten hani çok az. Hatta Barış'ı şu an altında öne geçti galiba o minyon dalgasını temizledi. Bir minyon dalgası daha alıyor. Işınlanı var hiç problem değil. Pazi burada bir agresif giriş yaptı. Ultisini kullandı. Sıçra kullandı.
Pazi bu orta koridor eşleşmesinde rahat gibi duruyor. Bu bayağı iyi haber Bambi adına. Barışçı da aynı şekilde. Üst koridor onun için çok zor değil. Alt koridoru da Poppy yerine Ornn olması bence bizim için çok iyi haberler. Bambi için kolay bir farmlama maçı olacak. Şu anda sanırım mavi güçlendirmeyi çalmak istiyor. Yanına zaten desteğini de getirmiş.
Çok iyi herkes burada.
Diego'yu yakalıyoruz. Sıçrayı çok iyi kullanıyor Long. Anında
gerçekten
kullanıyor.
çok iyi bir refleks
Ornn da burada. Ornn ultisi geldi. Poppy de burada ve Ziya'nı yakalıyorlar. Ziya'nın oradan çıkışı gerçekten çok zor. Biraz ava giden avlandı gibi olduk açıkçası.
Yani rakip
ama
takım
ava abartmamaları lazım onların da. Barışçı burada ultisi de var. Galio'ya dönüşen bir Viego vardı. Ona dikkat etmek lazım. Barışçı'nın sıçrası gidiyor orada. Hepimiz aynı fikirde değildik yani. Oynasak mı oynamasak mı kararını veremedik. Neyse kimse düşmedi. Burada bizim ormana geliyorlar. Bizim kırmızı güçlendirmede sıra. Biz onların güçlendirmesi çıkacakken burada bir 4 kişi karşı takım. Barışçı'yı yakalanıyor. Canı çok az. Oradan çıkmayı başarabilecek mi? Bize Pazi geldi. Pazi burada için rengini değiştirebilecek mi? Barışçı'yı burada güzel bir Q atıyor. Ölmemeyi başarıyor. Poppy yakalanıyor. Poppy düşmek üzere. Aynı zamanda Long da çok az canı var. Kırmızımızı koruduk mu? Hayır, orada kırmızıyı Long almayı başarmış.
Long'a bir şekilde oradan ekmek çıktı. Skor çıkmasa da.
Ya biz mavi almaya çalışmasak kendi kırmızımızı vermezdik. Orada daha fazla kişiyiz, daha hazırız sandık ama Long'dan çok iyi refleks geldi. Orada sıçrasını attı. Atamasaydı orada da Long'u düşürüp altında hem öne geçerdik hem de Shyvana'nın biraz daha yük kasmasını sağlardık.
Bu arada altın farkı bir 2000 sularına kadar çıktı. Az önce 1 dakika önce 100 falandı ama o üst koridor tarafında çıkan Curcuna'dan WRLK daha önde çıktı. Bakalım hala dünyanın sonu değil. Toparlayabiliriz. Sadece Zeyan biraz geriye düştü. Deneyim puanında hafif bir eşitlik var ama Long bir yani 800 altın önde şu anda.
Bayağı yakın hayatta kalmalar kaldı. Burada Tiga'dan bir bakış var. Long da burada. Long'un sıçrası yok neyse ki ama oynamak istiyorlar. Bambi ultisiyle çıkmak zorunda kalacak. Bambi'ye çok baskılı oynuyorlar. Bu baskıyı üzerinden birazcık da olsun rahatlatmamız gerekiyor bir şekilde.
Kesinlikle ama hani Poppy bu konuda hemen hemen çoğu şampiyonlarımızda atılma yeteneği olduğu için Poppy'nin olduğu senaryolarda biraz içeri girmek ya da rakip üstümüze gelince dışarı kaçmak birazcık zor oluyor ama Bambi'nin birazcık daha alana ihtiyacı var. Long'a verilen o alanın Bambi'ye de takım arkadaşları tarafından verilmesi gerekiyor. Çünkü bu sayede Long aradaki altın farkını 1000'e çıkardı ve bir eşyada avantajı var şu an.
Evet,
Tamamlanmış bir eşyası var.
Bambi şu an geride çünkü kampları çalınıyor. Şu an kampı yok mesela Bambi'nin.
Evet.
Yapacak hiçbir şey yok.
Yapacak hiçbir şey yok. Ultisi de yok.
Evet, bir baskın yapsa baskın da yapamayacak. Karşı ormanda da şu anda baktığımız zaman bir kamp yok. Bakalım Ejderi çok istiyor Bambi şu anda. Direkt olarak başladı Ejder'e.
Güven aşağıdan
İzin
bakıyor.
verecek mi buna Çin takım bilmiyorum. Ornn ultisi geldi. Güzel Zaya ultisi burada Creed'den. Çok fazla tüy biriktirdik. Belki devamında tüyler... Yok, devamında. Belki orayı kayıtlayabilir miydik? Devamında savaşabilir miydik diye düşünüyorum.
Ya çok ters bir yerdeydik açıkçası. O alan çok dardı ve hani Ornn ultisi olsun, Güven ultisi olsun. Biz orada sandviç
Volvimos gente, volvimos.
yapabilirlerdi. O yüzden kayıtlamak yerine çıkmak daha mantıklıydı bence. Bambi'nin ultisi gelmek üzere. Belki burada savaşmayı düşünebilirler. Galio ultisi de var aynı şekilde.
Ama sanırım öyle bir savaş yapmak yerine Bambi'nin
Şu an kamp alıyor. Kırmızı güçlendirmesini.
Rahat bir şekilde orman dönmesine izin vereceğiz. Mavi güçlendirmesi de çıkıyor zaten. Ormanını tamamen dönecektir. Oyun uzayınca karşıda Ornn, Gwen, Viego, Shyvana, Morde, Akali düşünüyorum biraz.
Yani Gwen
Yakın takımlar bence Shyvana farkından alabiliriz gibi duruyor. Oyunun uzadığı bir senaryoda.
ben de inanıyorum ama Long'un bu kadar altın kasmaması lazım. Hani onu engellememiz lazım. Hani bence buradaki galibiyet koşulu Long'u geri düşürmek olmalı. Ama Long da hani hiç geri düşecekmiş gibi görünmüyor Baho.
Ya Viego'nun açıkçası o kadar da önemli değil biliyor musun bence? Yani Shyvana maçında olduğu kadar önemli değil sahip olduğu altın farkı. Long'un öne geçmesindense Bambi'nin bizim takımdaki en düşük altınlık kişi olması daha büyük bir sıkıntı bence.
Kesinlikle katılıyorum. Yani desteği çıkardığımızda şu an altında gerçekten çok geri. Orada ölmek istemedi, yakalanmak istemedi Poppy'nin 3. yeteneğine ve ultiyle çıktı ama ultiyi hep defansif kullanıyoruz mesela. Böyle Barışçı yakalandı burada bu arada. Barışçı'yı kaybediyoruz. Daha böyle nasıl desem hani takım savaşı başlatmak, hasar anlamında. Hani şu an rakip bizi öyle bir noktada bırakıyor ki özellikle Long'u takip eden
Gente no hay
takım
nada,
arkadaşları.
nada novedoso.
Yani böyle bir çıkış alanı bulamıyor temsilcilerimiz.
Juegan con mucha calma.
Evet yani ben baskıdan koruyabilir diye düşünmüştüm takım ama neredeyse her zaman sayı avantajlı şekilde oynadılar.
Kesinlikle baksana daha henüz
Calmaditos,
Bambi eşyasını
calmaditos.
bitiremedi. Viego'da 2 tane eşya var şu an. Neredeyse.
Buradan sonra açıkçası 2 eşyalı Viego hani dedim ya çok önemli değil öne geçmesi. Ama yani bu kadar öne geçmesi de biraz dert.
Yani ama
Şu an,
baksana altın farkına Baho.
evet, şu an reseti kendisi alacak öyle söyleyeyim. Hani dedim ya
Yani,
reset
evet.
vermemiz
Ya,
zor
ne
diye.
yapayım?
Kendisi tek atacak yakaladığı kişiye dümdüz. Bir de çok yüksek hasar şeklinde eşya almış 2 tane.
Altın farkı 6000 sularında şu an.
Şu an bir şekilde birini Long o kişiye dönüşür derken Bambi buradan ileriye doğru sıçra atıyor. Galio ultisi de geldi. Gwen'i yakalıyoruz ama gelen ultisi Bambi'nin çok canı gittiği için çıkmak zorunda kalıyor. Ki yakalanan bir Galio var. Savaşı devamını getiremiyoruz. Bir kule atlayacaklar ama ultisi olan bir Zaya var. Belki devamında bir şeyler gelebilir. Long içeride hasar vuruyor ama Mordekaiser'i öldürmek çok kolay değil. Kuleyi alıyorlar şu anda. Belki Long düşer. Long yeterli olmuyor hasarı. Creed şu anda kayıtlıyor. yeteneği yeterli olmuyor Yu'yu kesmek için. Buradan 3'e 0 ayrılıyoruz.
Ya Bambi agresif bir giriş yaptı ama hani çok hasar çıktı. Bir anda böyle %10, %20 canlara kadar düştü. Yani gerçekten şu an zor görünüyor. Eşyasını bitirmiş Bambi ama daha güçlenmesi için çok daha fazla altına ihtiyacı var ve aradaki altın farkı neredeyse 10.000'e dayandı.
Bambi orada içeriye doğru atladığı zaman canının bu kadar çok gideceğini beklemiyordu bence Galio ultisiyle birlikte ama canı çok fazla gittiği zaman direkt olarak Bambi'yi fight'ta kaybettik. Savaşın devamında yoktu. Devamında yani direkt kuleye vurmaya başladılar. Barışçı çok fazla dayandı. Ancak
Barış'ı
orada
tüm
Long'u
yeteneklerinde tutturdu ama işte Viego şu an o kadar güçlü durumda ki aynı şekilde Creed'in de hasarı olsa birazcık daha belki orada Corki'yi de düşürebilirdi.
orada birazcık eşya farkından kaybettik diyebilirim ya. Yani arada 5'e 0 ama 8000 altınlık bir fark var. Bambi'den yine agresif bir oyun geliyor. Burada Yu sanırım yok. Direkt ikinci yeteneğini kullanarak kaçmış. Ornn ultisi ziyan tutuyor ama bir önemi yok.
Yani rakibin aldığı skor 5 ama yani arada oluşan altın farkı aşırı yüksek.
Evet ya burada açıkçası bu altın farkının oluşmasındaki en büyük sebeplerden biri.
Şu an Long'un ve diğer koridorlardan gelen ufak ya daha çok Long'dan geliyor. Ama diğer koridorlarda da böyle bir işte 1000-2000 altın civarındaki farklar genel olarak bu duruma getiriyor. Bambi'nin henüz ultisi yok. Onun için stacklere
Yok
ihtiyacı
burası
var.
çok zor. Baron'u veriyoruz. Üzerine bir de Bambi'yi verdik. Devamında
No,
Ziyan sıçratmadan
arrasadores.
çıkmayı sanırım başaracak.
WRLK arrasador totalmente.
Ulti atarak kulesine doğru kaçabildi sanırım. Evet. Bir
Solo
yeterli
des en
olacak mı
cuenta la
acaba?
diferencia de oro.
Hayır,
Pues
burada
sinceramente la
Barış'ı
partida ya se
yaparak
acabó.
düşürmeyi başarıyorlar. Long burada Mordekaiser'a dönüştü ama güzel bir taunt geldi Galio'dan. Creed ulti veya sıçra atamadan düşüyor. Acaba Pazi Long'u düşürebilir mi? Burada Poppy bitiriyor ama
çok az. Ah. Yani
bir kill.
yani
burada evet ilk killimiz gelecek mi? Long burada düşüyor. Güzel.
Long biraz
güzel.
abarttı ve düştü.
Güzel güzel.
Bambi aldı buraya kadar altınını. Bir anda 2 eşya aldı Bambi.
Ya bu oyunda aslında çok eşit gidiyordu maç. Bambi'nin maviyi alma isteğinden sonra
Evet, o üst koridordaki curcunadan sonra. Hatta
inanılmaz
skor...
snowball'landı. Burada Yu çok yanlış bir yere atlıyor. Bambi bu sırada çok yüksek hasar verdi. Yu sıçra attı. Bambi arkasından sıçra atıyor. Bir can kaldı
bir
sadece.
Can, gerçekten bir can. Ah be.
Sıçra ve bitkinlik kullandı. O bitkinlik bizi bitiren şey oldu orada gerçekten.
Maalesef.
Yani
dakika 13'e geliyoruz ve yaklaşık bir 12.000'lik altın farkı var ve hani rakip ne zaman ultisi gelse bu şekilde tetiği çekiyorlar. Burada Creed'in ultisini baitlemiş oldu. Ornn ultisiyle beraber.
Tamam, burada Pazi Gwen'e karşı ama Gwen şu anda gerçekten çok güçlü. Karşı takımda herkes çok yüksek altına sahip.
Deneyim puanı olarak da çok ilerideler.
Baksana 2 seviye önde.
Yani az önceki şeyi yine görüyoruz. Hani
Evet,
Long'un ne kadar açgözlü olduğunu, sürekli işte karşı ormana baskın atıp kamp çaldığını ve bunu çok rahat kazanma koşuluna çevirdiğine yine şahit oluyoruz. Yani takımımızın şu an yapabileceği ne var ben de emin değilim.
Takımının lokomotifi gibi oynuyor Long. Yani bütün 2 maçta izlediğimiz avantajlarını Long'la kazandılar. Bambi ileriye doğru ulti atıyor. Galio ultisi de geliyor. Burada açıkçası zıplattıkları Ornn'u orada düşürmeyi başarabilecekler. Zeyan'dan güzel bir kışkırtma geldi. Poppy de burada düşecek. Poppy önde başladı da çok abartmayabiliriz. Açıkçası buranın devamını.
Barış'ı burada muhtemelen düşecek.
Önde yakalandı. Düşen isim oldu burada.
Yani 2 tane skor aldık.
Evet, güzel
skor vermesek de olurdu ama.
Evet, skorlar açıkçası bize çok daha fazla altın verdikleri için göremedik. Buraya kadar aldık mı ama almışızdır diye tahmin ediyorum. Güzel bir burada açıkçası flash geliyor Zeyan'dan. Güzel yakalıyoruz. Devamında ilk skoru aldık ama Long ne yazık ki ilk restini alabildi. Dönüştü. Sonra hemen tekrardan dönüştü. Bambi Long'a vuruyor. Long çok fazla hasar çıkarttı. Creed ve Pazi. Bir şey söyleyeceğim. İnanılmaz vuruyor ya. İnanılmaz vuruyor. Yapacak hiçbir şey yok.
Yani bir an dedim galiba Long düşecek ama hani çok fed. 4 eşyası var şu an.
Finish.
Daha botunu dönüştürmemiş bile.
Altın
farkı hani 16.000. 15 oldu.
Ya orada ilk 2 skoru gerçekten güzel aldık bence. Hiç beklemiyorlardı. Ornn'la Poppy'yi çok güzel düşürdük. Devamında devam etmeye gerek yok. Bunları temizleyip canlarımızı doldurduğumuz zaman 5'e 3 kalıyoruz. Karşı takım bence artık oyun denemeyecek.
Como que todos se unieron de la noche a la mañana y juegan, entonces no hubo como
Kazanır
sincronía.
mıydık? Yani
El único equipo que le sentí algo de sincronía fue a Brasil y al equipo de
Varlık gösterebiliyor
KD
olabilir.
coreano.
Belki bu maçı değiştirmez
Se
ama
le
belki
sintió
bu
el toque
maçta
de ese plus de coordinación.
Yani Çin temsilcisi gerçekten çok güçlü.
De resto todos
Bizim
fueron partidas
temsilcilerimizin
muy
birazcık daha vakti var.
muy
Birazcık
casuales.
dinlenecekler. Bir sonraki maçta
Vamos a ver
WRLK
cómo queda la tabla de
ve
este,
Kore
de este
temsilcisi
encuentro.
Team Taizan kapışıyor olacak. Muhtemelen bundan
Si hay
sonra
apoyo aquí
röportaj var
hasta
ama röportajda
antes de las
İngilizler
10, ¿qué les digo? Realizaría el evento del día 3, si no, sigo con otra actividad, otro evento, porque la verdad no me gustó en resumen. WRLK subió sus puntos como tal. Primer puesto WRLK con 8 puntos en totales. En segundo puesto CKT con 6 puntos. Tercer puesto Vietnam con 7 puntos. Y cuarto puesto WCP, que son las capibaras, con un total de 23 puntos. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Créanme que el apoyo es muy fundamental para poder seguir con este proyecto. Estoy haciendo tengo una idea, pues, que Riot visualice a Latam, no nos deje tan abandonados. No sé si escalar, hacer eventos, todo lo que reunamos aquí. Yo lo hago esto por mucho cariño, mucho amor. Estoy esperando a ver. Entonces, no siendo más, muchachos, cuídense mucho. Feliz noche.